Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. My name is Matt. This is Laughing for Liberation, and joining me is my amazing co-host for the evening, the one, the only, the incomparable Tooky Kavanagh.
Hello.
Hi.
Season's mother friggin' greetings.
Right? Here we are.
Hey, we're doing it. We're doing it.
We've already got like 50 people watching.
Oh my gosh. So, welcome, viewers.
Hello, everyone in the chat. It is so good to see so many people coming out for this show. It is, in fact, showtime, as the amazing Adi Heller has said.
I thought that was Beetlejuice, but okay.
Showtime. I love Beetlejuice. Raj Annelman saying we have 64, and she has better numbers than I do. So I'm going to go with that number. Anyway, so welcome everyone to Laughing for Liberation. It's very exciting. We've got I would say this lineup is in the biz terms. Mm-hmm. Would you say that this lineup is stacked?
Absolutely stacked. I mean, we've got honestly some of the best performers from across the country joining us here tonight, like top tier comedic performers, stand-up comics, sketch comics. You're all in for such a treat.
Yeah, and that's what's great. It's like with this being on Twitch, is we don't just have to have performers from the Boston area. We've got people from all over the place coming and entertaining us this evening, which very, very excited. So for those of you that might not know what's going on, you might have just clicked on the link and came right in. We are doing a fundraiser for Showing Up for Racial Justice Boston, or SURJ Boston. Yes. And another organization called Community Change Incorporated.
So they do a yearly fundraiser, and so we kind of got to join in on the fun. And CCI, Community Change Inc., is their parent organization, so they're doing that fundraiser in part with them. And this event is about just uplifting and supporting the anti-racism work that CCI has been doing. I mean, they've been in business since 1968, so
yeah.
They've been doing it. They've been doing it for a while. So this is to help support that work, that ongoing hard work, because it's not easy. I mean, we've had dinner with some of our uncles. It's not easy. So
yeah. And we've got we're going to be talking with somebody from CCI later on in the show, but we do have a quick video intro on the history of CCI. So with that, we'll go to the video.
Enjoy.
(1967). Detroit is burning. President Johnson orders an investigation to find out why. The Kerner Commission concludes that the riots in Detroit and other American cities are rooted in the white problem, institutional racism. Soon after the report is published, Martin Luther King is assassinated. 1 week later, Horace Seldon, a minister and activist in Massachusetts, is driving home after preaching an Easter morning sermon, and he has an epiphany. He must devote his life to work against white racism. Community Change is born. Its core principles: challenge white supremacy. White people need to work with other white people. Follow the leadership of people of color, and provide support for activists and organizations of color, money, meeting space, connections, whatever is needed. CCI stepped in to support Boston's movements, from the struggle to desegregate the Boston public schools, to the role of white-led institutions, to global protest movements, to local community trainings and actions. For decades, CCI has helped to build and strengthen the anti-racism community in Boston. Horace Seldon and Paul Marcus, a successor as CCI executive director, taught a Boston college class on the history of racism in the U.S. for 14 years. Many of their students were inspired to become activists. And CCI's lending library and brown bag lunches made the office a watering hole for people to learn and socialize and connect. And CCI honored the ordinary people doing extraordinary things to combat racism with the Dry Longso Anti-Racism Leadership Awards, which became an annual community celebration. In 1969, a white person starting an anti-racist organization was a radical act. Horace left us in 2017, but we honor his vision by continuing to act boldly under Shea Stewart Boulay, the first Black woman to lead CCI. As more and more people join the uprising against white supremacy, Community Change is envisioning new ways to help bring liberation to us all.
I mean, so there it is.
I mean, they've been doing the work for decades at a time. It is, someone wants to know, do we need to do anything to, so that we know what to match?
On Point Improv,
yes.
Which you see in the chat, is matching the first $1,000 of donations, which is amazing.
Thank you.
On Point, thank you so much. On Point's an amazing organization here in Boston that not only works with the indie improv scene, giving performers a chance to get up and get on stage, but they also have used this improv in these shows to donate to different charities.
Yeah.
And now CCI in this fundraiser, they've decided to match funds here. So
thank you to everyone at On Point Improv for your generosity. This is huge. It's
yeah.
a really huge deal.
Yeah. So all you need to do is when you do make the donation, just make sure if you want to donate anonymously, you 100% can do that. Just make sure that the amount is seen so they know what to match. So there you go. So get on there, start donating, and we're going to bring up our first comic.
Yes, we are.
And we're starting off big. We're starting off.
Oh, I mean, this whole
hard.
lineup is amazing, but we are starting off with a treat. This is going to be so great. Absolutely, just one of the most hilarious and dynamic, just amazing performer. Has performed nationally, all over. You might have seen her on, Nick Mom, and she has an album out called "I Am Not a Llama." And it's on all streaming services. Listen to it or punch yourself in the face. That is my advice. Yeah.
So please make some noise wherever you are. Make some noise in the comfort of your own home.
Or in the chat.
In the chat for Bethany Van Delft.
Woo! Tooky! Oh my God, that intro. It's impossible to live up to. Do not punch yourself in the face if you haven't listened to the album. Just try to listen to it. Who knows? I don't know. Back at you, Tooky. Love you. This is great. Thank you so much for having me. This is incredible. My mom is a social justice warrior, political activist for my whole entire life. People, Marxist, revolutionary. That's my mom, down with the Young Lords and the Black Panthers. And sometimes people are a little concerned for me. Like they're like, oh my God, what was that like growing up? Did you have to wait in line for toilet paper? And I'd be like, only when I was at the supermarket, just like you, dummy. Not in a bad way, but you know what I mean? I understand the concern, I guess. It's an uncommon way of being raised. So I guess I understand the concern, but in case you're wondering, it wasn't that different than everybody else's life. You know what I mean? Like say like your friends came over and played hide and go seek with you, right? My mom's friends used to come over and play hide and go to Canada. So that was that's similar. Like maybe your mom took you to the zoo to see the exotic white tiger. My mom took us to the prison to see the angry Black Panthers. So not that different. We had pets. Our pets had cute names and everything. Maybe you named your pets. My mom named our pets, so we had a German Shepherd named Karl Barks. We had a Siamese cat named Meow Setong because it was Asian. And we had a black cat named Proletariat, because the product of her labor was sold for a profit by the owner of the means of production. So you see, our lives are similar. Don't worry about us, red diaper babies. This is great. I'm doing okay. This is my first pandemic, so I'm just trying to figure it out and get through it. Finding alone time is hard. That's been really hard. I'm isolated with 3 children, which makes it extra super hard. You know how kids are. I've got my 3-year-old son, my 9-year-old daughter, and my husband. So it's like a daycare up in here. I don't know. I try to get alone time. Walking used to be my alone time. That was how I cleared my mind. I walked everywhere for super long distances. Walking was my exercise. It was my meditation. It was my self-care. It was how I connected with my community, because I don't know how to drive. I never learned how to drive, but I did learn how to change a narrative, which is such a valuable skill, don't you think? I think it is. I try to go for walks anyway, but there's there's dummies out here fighting science. Like the people in my neighborhood aren't wearing masks, which it makes me rageful. My daughter is very high risk, and seeing all these naked-faced people just it fills me with rage. But I try to be empathetic and compassionate. And if the reason they're not wearing masks is because they don't understand the science, like how it works, like how a mask can mitigate the spread of the virus, I can empathize with that. That I can understand, because there have been concepts I cannot wrap my brain around, and I know how that feels. I could not wrap my brain around algebra to save my life. I had my poor anatomy and physiology teacher every day trying to explain it to me. He'd be like, Bethany, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And I'd be like, oh my God, A squared like aardvark. Are we reading? These are letters. I know how to read. And he'd be like, it is not reading, it's math. And I'd be like, but you can't math letters. You can only read letters. I can only read letters because I live in a free country. And he'd be like, that's not the point. The point is, if the letters were numbers, they could be asymptomatic and put vulnerable people at risk. That's so ridiculous, right? This is all to tell you, I cannot do algebra and wear your mask. I know I do smoke weed. You are correct. That was definitely a weed train of thought. I do smoke weed. I don't do it to be cool or anything like that. You know, like I do it because I need it. I have a lot of anxiety. I'm a Virgo. I don't know if you know astrology, but Virgos have a lot of anxiety, right? Also, I don't believe in that stuff because Virgos only believe in science. So I smoke weed to snuff out the cognitive dissonance. It's okay. I'm going to be okay. My husband's white, and I'm not bragging. It's just backstory. It's just backstory. So you know something about me. My husband's white, so I know who the Lumineers are. It's so exciting. I'm the first person in my family. Oh my gosh. He's a very good dude. He's a very good person, but he is a straight white guy. So he's got a touch of the privilege. And I don't mind telling him about it at all, but he gets so sensitive about it. And I don't know why white people get so sensitive about the word privilege. It's not a slur. It's more like a descriptor of an existence, you know, like maybe due to some factors, environmental factors or things beyond your control, some things behind your control. Maybe you lived an existence where you didn't have to worry about certain things that other groups of people did have to worry about. That's all it means, you know? Like I don't think about balls. I don't think about balls. Testicles, I'm never thinking, like if we were walking past each other on the street with our masks on, I would never be like, I'd never be thinking about ball. I'd never be like, yeah, balls. Like that would never be on my mind ever. You know, if somebody presented them to me, I might think about them for like a nanosecond, but really I'm just never thinking about balls. And then every now and then I might whack somebody in the balls and they're like, oh my God. And it's like, it's the end of the world. And they're like in devastating pain. And I'm like, oh my God, does it hurt that bad? They're like, yes. And I kind of don't believe them, but I go with it because I don't know. Right. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again. And then I walk away and I forget, like, I like walk away. I forget like almost right away because I don't care. I don't care. I don't have to care. I don't have balls, you know? And then I might whack somebody in the balls again and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God, that's right. It's hard living with balls. I am so sorry. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just don't see balls. You know what I mean? Like that's privilege. That's all it is. That's it. If that helps you explain it to any white person that you know, go ahead and use that. It's fine. My husband's white. My dad's white too. My mother's black. My mother's a beautiful black woman born in Puerto Rico. And someone was like, oh my God, how could you be black and Puerto Rican? And I wasn't like slavery. I was kinder than that. I just said, you could be black and anything. Like Blade. Oh my God, get a grip. So my dad's white. My husband's white. My mother's black. So my children are 3/4 white, which is more white than me. So I am a little bit fucking afraid of them. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean, right? Like, I love them. I love them so much. I know that they love me so much, but I lock my bedroom door at night just because stuff happens. It happens and it keeps happening. Like, I don't know. I might come down to the kitchen one morning. My daughter might be on the phone like, there's a black lady making my breakfast. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It can happen. And people would believe her. They like believe it. We don't look a lot alike. Like, she's got milk white skin, blue eyes, and straight blonde hair. It is really hard to tell that she's a person of color, you know? So I always have to be reminding white people, listen, I'm black. She is my daughter. So she is black. You need to be racist to her. Don't be ignorant. Thank you. That's my time. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bethany.
Bethany Van Delft, everybody. Let her hear it. Let her see it in the chat. And word has it on the chat that On Point Improv just noted that they've already exceeded the $1,000 donation. So thank you all so much for your generosity tonight.
Already?
Yeah, already.
We're 20 minutes into a 3-hour show.
I know.
This is amazing.
Y'all are killing it. Speaking of which, if you are so inclined, please remember to support all of the performers who are on tonight. Make sure to follow them on all their social media. You should see it underneath when they're performing. And again, if you're feeling generous and if you're so inclined, please check out their Venmo handles. Send them a little tip, the giving spirit, all of that. Yeah,
absolutely. As many people that sent me Venmo handles, we're going to have them up. So please, yes, be generous. That's the name of the game tonight. Yes. Tooky, have you done much? Do you listen to much of the ASMR?
On purpose?
On purpose, yeah.
No, I respect myself, but you know what? If that's the hustle, that's the hustle.
Yeah. Well, our next performer has sent in a video. The amazing Rosena Cornet, which very good friend. Yes. She's just so fun. Performed with her a number of times. She along with some friends have sent this ASMR video for us. So get ready. She let's see. Rosena wrote and directed and performed this digital sketch.
All right.
So here we go.
Here's Rosena.
Hello, YouTubers. It's Kiki and Grace, again, your Caribbean queens, repping the island of Hispaniola and Brooklyn. This is an ASMR video. You know those videos supposed to make you tingle and shit?
Oh, you're supposed to be quiet, Kiki. You gotta stop yelling. Oh my God. Because when you whisper, you're gonna give people comfort and make them all tingly, and it's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry, Grace.
Okay. Now this AMSR is gonna have a cultural twist. Okay.
Grace, it's ASMR.
That's what I said. AMSR. Okay.
Okay, whatever. We are tired of listening to sounds that we do not understand, like people eating pickles. We eat plantains.
Oh, you are yelling again, Kiki. Oh,
That's a good sound. That's the sound I make when somebody says something stupid.
Oh. Volume, okay? But it's true though. Because this is the sound that I make when somebody says something stupid to me, like, oh, you so exotic. Where are you from? America, stupid. God. Stupid. So stupid. So stupid. So stupid. Stupid.
That sound right there, that's the sound my mother used to make when I try to leave the house in poom poom shorts.
father makes when I'm on the porch and I'm trying to talk to a boy. And then he's like, no, you ain't talking to no boy up in here. And I'm like, I'm 28, puppy.
Ooh, ooh, I smell that. Yes, that is the sound of fresh goat meat being fried. You could take the girl off the island, but you cannot take the machete out of her hand. Get that goat, ma.
Aye, chunkless. See, my mom got a special pair of chunkless. They red and white, but they got a unicorn on them. So every time she would beat me with them, she would be like, and then I would be like, oh my God, it's mixed emotions because it hurt my butt. But then it was like, it's a unicorn. It's like a magical evil unicorn. And it was just confusing. It's like, you're a beast monster, evil unicorn. Rest in peace, Mom.
Aye is right.
Wildin'.
Ooh, suavemente, suave, suave. Ooh, I'm gonna add a little bit of Creole on this. Y'all ready? Sugar, sugar, la la, when palma chocolate, sugar, sugar, la la, when palma chocolate. Dick best. That's the sound of me winning Samanos.
Ole, 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 ole. Ole, ole. Ole, 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 ole. Ole, ole. Ole. Go!
컬처럴 ASMR. 아, 나도 한국어로 만들어야지. 오케이.
One more time for Rosena Cornet. She's out in LA thriving. Her edges are thriving. That was wildly triggering for me because my mom is from the Caribbean. My mom's family is Jamaican and Haitian, and I heard that and I felt it. I felt that. I didn't like that. But I love Rosena. Make sure to check out, her handle and her Venmo, scrolling down below. Support Rosena, support all the creators and comedians on tonight, as we had been saying before. Do we want to give a quick rundown of SURJ Boston before our next performance?
Yeah, let's do a quick let's do some quick SURJ Boston talk here, and then we've got our next performer in the wings, ready to go.
Heck yeah. But real quick, if you don't already know, SURJ Boston is the local chapter of Showing Up for Racial Justice, which is a national network, and they, are their parent company is the CCI, and SURJ Boston helps organize white people specifically to take action to support and follow leadership of local people of color-led organizations and issues around racial justice in Boston, and become part of the multicultural movement to dismantle white supremacy. And if we know anything about Boston, okay, let me not be problematic like less than half an hour into the show. But yes, definitely do your research on SURJ Boston and CCI. They're doing really great work. And with that, shall we bring up our next performer?
We shall. Our next performer, she has been on several shows here on 2MB Studios, and just a very, 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 very funny woman. Let's bring on Izzy da Rosa.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I am so excited to be here. I was just telling my parents about doing a comedy show tonight. They weren't quite as excited as I was. My mom was like, I don't understand why you keep wasting time with these clown nights when you have more important things to do. And I was like, oh, Mom, clown night? That's very insulting because, I don't have a car or that many friends. But my mom, she has very high expectations of me. And it's really hard when I don't meet them. You know, she's foreign and Catholic. So if I disappoint her, I end up feeling twice the guilt. I actually graduated with my master's last year. And at my grad ceremony, she looked at me and was like, this is really great because now you can go for your PhD. And like, while I don't agree, in that moment, I understood why people want stricter immigration laws. No, just kidding. Obviously. But no, I know that tough love is just how my mom lets me know that she wants what's best for me. And a few years back, we had a conversation that I think will stick with me forever. You know, she was like, when I was just a teenager, I left everyone and everything I knew behind and came to this country where I didn't speak the language and didn't have anyone to fall back on. But I did that because I wanted to give my kids a better life than I had, which I thought was very, very powerful. You know, she came all the way across the Atlantic. She's from Cabo Verde, which, as you can see behind me, I don't know. I just felt very inspired by that and very moved because I think my mom has done that because I have done SoulCycle. And for those of you not familiar, SoulCycle is one of those very overpriced spin classes, which if you think about it, truly is the American dream, right? The studio is a beautiful place. You walk in, all you see is white with yellow highlights, which is coincidentally both the decor and the clientele. And it's cool because it's like a dance party on a bike. You're like dancing to some sort of like hip hop house music remix. And honestly, it's pretty incredible because there's not a lot of places you can go and have like 40 white people around you all dancing on beat to hip hop. But I think it's because there's like a lot of shoulders involved. I don't know. But I know that's what my mom wanted, you know, when she was just a child. She was in 4th grade. She had to drop out of school and become a farmer to help support her family. And I think that, you know, she was probably like tending to the crops thinking there's got to be more to life than this. One day, my daughter is going to pay money to ride a stationary bike next to a bunch of women who have no student loan debt. I actually have quite a bit of student loan debt, and with that comes a lot of anxiety. So I have been in therapy for the past couple of years, and honestly, therapy is incredible. If you can right now, I'm pretty sure in Massachusetts, telehealth is offering free services. So check in about that because that's really important. I've had a couple different therapists over the years, but I noticed that they all do the same thing where they speak very softly. And I was talking to my most recent therapist about patterns in my dating history and just relationships and stuff. And she's concerned because I've dated, you know, I've mostly dated white men, which I agree, very problematic. And she was like, I don't understand why you have a great relationship with your father, but you don't really seem to date men that look like him. And I'm like, okay, well, that's rude. But the answer is sort of in the question. And then she goes on to say, sometimes people of color will date white people because of their proximity to power. And I was like, wow, Eileen, you need to lower your fucking voice. Because she isn't really wrong. But she would be totally correct if any of the men I've ever dated had any power, like even a job. Oh, man. So I teach kids. I work at an elementary school. And it is fantastic. But what I really have learned is that 2nd graders can be some of the meanest people on the planet. They are brutally honest. And honestly, kids will like, you've probably seen that video by now where the child is insulting their parent by telling them that they're broke and doing a cartwheel while they do it. That's what kids are like. So I had a student when I was a student teacher, and he was like, I don't understand why you're here. You're not even a real teacher. You're just the teacher's bitch. And that like really, really hurt me. I actually left the room and I cried because he's right. I was the teacher's bitch. I was the student teacher. But then I was like, okay, I'm also an adult. I need to walk back in there and do my job. But the minute I walk back in, he looks at me and goes, why are your eyes watering? Did I make you cry? So I lied and I told him that my grandma died because I'm never going to admit defeat to an 8-year-old. But then that did backfire because a few days later, I think he wanted to get a rise out of me again. And he was like, hey, remember when your grandma died? And I absolutely lost my cool. And I was like, hey, remember when I brought you to the nurse because you pooped yourself? Whose eyes are watery now? Thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun. I promise I didn't say that to a child, but I did cry.
Thank you, Izzy.
Thank you so much, Izzy.
And make sure to check out her show every Sunday, or most Sundays, on Instagram, Taking It Izzy.
Yes.
Woo! All right.
Moving right along. Let's get these. We've got so many good comics coming up next, and our next comic is no exception to that. He's a very, very funny man. I've had the pleasure of having him on Hello World. I think Tooky, has he been on your show as well?
He absolutely has, and he survived Is It a Cat? Which I won't go into detail about, but know that on my talk show, I traumatize my guests. It's great. It's for fun.
That's half the reason to host a show, right? Is to terrorize your guests.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So speaking of, let's bring on our next guest, Kwasi Mensah.
Hello. Yeah, I'm just I feel like Dave Thomas still needs to look up what the hotep is. That's the type of stuff you're missing if you're not checking in a Tooky show. But yeah, we're in the middle of a pandemic. That's great. I was actually supposed to be married by now, and we actually had to push that off. So that's been fun. And I remember my fiance Sarah was super upset we had to put off the wedding. It's supposed to be Memorial Day weekend, and I keep trying to, I kept trying to comfort her, and I was like, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you, Sarah. What does it matter if we have to wait a couple months? And she storms off. She's like, you just don't get it. Next thing I know, a couple months later, I'm trying to get a PS5, and my best friend lets me know Costco has a couple online. So I try to sign in, get it, but I miss the window, and they're sold out by the time I get it. And I'm just sitting there banging the table, and Sarah comes in, my fiance comes in, and says, what happens? I was like, I couldn't get the PS5. She's like, well, you're going to love it your entire life. What does it matter if you have to wait a couple months? And I was like, fine, you got me. You got me. I hope you're proud of yourself. Oh man. But it's funny that Izzy was talking about dating white people, because my fiance Sarah is white. Although to be fair, I didn't realize she was white when we first started dating. She's like a spicy white. She's actually Armenian, which is like barely counts as white in my mind because they actually spice their food. I like to think the way I like to describe her version of whiteness is that if whiteness was like a draft, she would be a late round pick. But they're like the Tom Brady of whiteness, because Armenians are like a last round pick, but thanks to their Kardashians, had a couple MVP seasons when it came to whiteness. So, but it was fun when I met their family, because she's born and raised Boston, right? I remember I meet her family, and they're like, oh, we have to act right. Oh, we're not racist. We don't even see race. And I was like, hey, you're from Boston. There's a little bit of it in there. Like, there has to be. Like, I remember growing up in New York, I was taught 3 things about Boston. 1, you have shitty sports fans. 1, you have shitty accents. And 3, you have a ton of hate crimes. And you literally have a hometown hero that puts it all together in Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg can see race. The Asian guy, he blinded, he can't see race. All right, that's a little far for a lot of the Boston people. Maybe I lost you there. But yeah, it's been interesting in the middle of the pandemic. Everyone's been binge watching shows, and Netflix has all of these great like black sitcoms on there. But it's weird, like if you actually try to take apart any of their politics in there, because we were watching Sister Sister, and we didn't realize until like season 6 that Ray Campbell, the dad on the show, is a Republican. And I was like, are you effing kidding me? And now you have Fresh Prince of Bel-Air having their reunion show or whatever, and people are like, oh, Uncle Phil was this Republican judge. And now I didn't realize that Family Matters is on Hulu, and I didn't even realize it because I just assumed that would have caused like 2 weeks of people talking about Carl Winslow and Blue Lives Matter. It's like, I'm not ready for that, Twitter. We're not ready for that at all. Oh man. All right. Yeah, I think that's everything on my end. If you guys, that's all the jokes I got, all the ha-has I got. I think I went a little short, so it's going to be interesting to see them scramble to jump back on.
Oh, we're not scrambling. We're ready, Kwasi.
There you go.
Kwasi, thank you so much.
Thank you
And
so
it's
much.
good. It's good to see that you shaved. Last time I saw it, you had a
I
little bit more
know,
of a
I
beard
know.
going on.
I want it. I wish it just didn't grow in patchy. And this is also like because of the pandemic, like one shave every 3 or 4 months. So don't worry, it'll come back soon.
Yeah. All right, Kwasi, thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you
one.
again. Make sure to
Yeah.
follow Kwasi. Tip him on Venmo. Tip all your performers.
There. Yeah, and he has a show that he hosts that is called Laughing Liberally.
Yes.
So
When
check
live shows
that
are a
out.
thing again, absolutely. As I said before, go watch this show. Do it. And if you haven't already seen the show, punch yourself in the face. So that is my advice.
That's a theme for tonight, I think. Tooky tends to just tell people to punch themselves in the face, and
Yes.
I'm okay with that. I've done it many a time. Y'all, we are already like, I don't know. Should we say where we're at as far as fundraising, or should we wait?
No, let's let the people know
Let's let the
how
people know.
you know how much their generosity has helped us and where we're at. Thanks.
Okay,
to
so we have 3 segments to tonight's show. We're getting to the end of our first segment of the night, and we are at $2,365 already. So I'm guessing we can double that by the end of the night.
Yes.
That I would love for that to happen.
Yes. So thank you to those who have already donated. Thank you in advance to those of you who plan to do so. And this show is going to be up for a while. It'll be up on the YouTube, and people can still click the link to donate. Correct?
Absolutely.
All right.
I don't think there's any deadline on this donation. Coming up next, we have an amazing person that I haven't got to see as much as of late, because I used to see them all the time when we could still do stuff outside, but unfortunately I haven't. Very excited to welcome Diana Liu to the show.
Everybody.
Diana, hi.
Hey everybody. Hi Matt. Yeah, I used to see all of you so often, like every few days. Like every time I go outside, I would run into Matt and we'd, hug and just like go, and now no more. But hopefully sometime soon. Okay, so usually I do comedy, but today I thought I would do some storytelling. And I was gonna share some stories about my dad with you all. Yeah, because I think COVID kind of makes you think about like family and like the things that are important to you. So I don't know, I thought I'd share some of that. Okay, so like, growing up, he was like this typical like hard ass dad, right? Just like super stoic and just like didn't really talk to you. And he would be like, you have to study and do school and just like be successful in life, right? So I did all of that. And I think eventually I learned more about him and I realized like growing up, it was because he didn't really have a lot of social connections, like it was the Cultural Revolution in China and he was just like working in a factory. Like he didn't go to school, and he lived with his dad in like this shack. Like I went to visit it one time and it was really, really small. It was like literally a room with a dirt floor and that was it. And the one thing that he did do when he was a kid was he would paint. And he would paint a lot and like he was like always an artist. So like ever since he was like 5 years old, he just like picked up a paintbrush and started doing like oil paintings, and like he had a neighbor that was really, really good. He like studied abroad when he was younger and he was a professional before. And he liked my dad so much because he was so good at painting that he actually offered to adopt my dad. And I think my grandpa thought about it, considered it because he had like 6 other kids, so it was like, yeah, maybe. But then later he was like, no, we're not doing that. So that was what my dad did all his life. Like he didn't really have any, like his siblings were older, so he didn't really interact with them. He just stayed at home and painted, and that's why he's like doesn't know how to interact with people. But eventually he got into college. You know, he studied English so he could read painting books that weren't translated into Chinese yet. Eventually, you know, he immigrated here, and now he's a professor and he writes books. And you know, growing up, I was just like, this is normal. This is how dads are. And I think the time that I actually realized that he's really fucking weird is because one of my friends from college, he was taking a cross-country road trip. And I said, hey, my parents live in the middle of the country. Do you want to stay with my parents? And he said yes. And he was going with his sister, you know. So they stayed at my parents' house. And my dad initially was super excited to have them stay. He was like talking about like his books that he writes. And he like took them to the university and he showed them all his paintings because they were doing an exhibit for him because he like had worked there for 20 years. And they put it all over the library. And then they were, you know, like my friends were like, oh, that's cool. And then he made them take photos of themselves next to every single one of his paintings and also take photos of him next to his own painting, including a self-portrait. So it was like my dad and his, you know, his self-portrait. And then when they got home, he didn't speak to them for the rest of the night. And so they were like, oh my God, this is so awkward. Until at the very end of dinner, my friend's sister was talking about how she never went to college. And, you know, like she's always self-conscious about that because, you know, like everybody's parents are judgmental. But then my dad like finally spoke and he was like, you know what? I never went to high school either. And you don't have to go to school to be successful. And like that was so nice. She like never forgot about that. She still talks about that today. And I thought it was a nice story too. But now I'm like, well, goddamn, why did I study so hard? All right, that's it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Diana.
Diana and I both did Comic in Residence back in the day. So that's a huge deal. Definitely check out Diana when she performs live again. It's an absolute delight. She's so, so funny. And follow her on all social media, especially for the message that I wholly support of immediate decapitation. But I won't elaborate on that. Just if you know, you know.
I don't know.
Good.
You have to tell me backstage. Okay, so now we are going to switch gears here real quick, and we're going to find out a little bit more about CCI. And to do that, we are going to chat with a CCI board member, Abraham Leitner. Abraham.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, y'all. Great to be here. Good to see you.
It's good to see you as well. Thank you for taking the time to come and talk about CCI with us.
Oh, this is incredible. I mean, I like this that y'all are putting on a fundraiser and we're raising, like you said, $2,000 some dollars. Like we are a tiny nonprofit, so $2,000 is a big deal. That's like a larger percentage of our budget than I'd like to mention, actually.
And when I announced the amount, the 2,365, I immediately got a text saying that it is now 2,465. So in that little bit, somebody donated $100.
Yes.
So that's amazing. And you all don't have to donate $100. Like, think like if you want to donate $5, $10, $3, whatever you want.
It's a big deal.
Every little bit helps. So, Abraham, how did you get involved in CCI?
Well, I got involved with CCI back in 2015, where I started to wake up to the fact that race was happening all around me, and for me as a white person in Boston, the more I was meeting people, the more I kept hearing about CCI. And I was like, what's that mean? And it's community change. And I was like, great, that name tells me nothing about what we do. But the more I just got embedded in community around here, the more I kept hearing about CCI. And so I went to check it out. And it turns out that all these people that I look to as like teachers or mentors or peers who are like developing their capacity to be in the work of fighting racism. They all, like a lot of people, led back to CCI. It's a place where for 53 years, it's really been about leadership development of people in the work for racial justice, and seeing that really the work of movement building, so much of it boils down to how do we develop people's leadership. And what Horace Seldon, back in 1968, he founded CCI. He was a white man who founded it to focus on the white problem of racism. And so for decades, CCI has been working to develop leadership in racial justice work around New England, working a lot on with white people on the white problem, but we've always been in multiracial coalition. But yeah, in particular, focusing on these days on how do we build up the leadership of people working for racial justice in the suburbs. So we have a program called Anti-Racist Organizing in the Suburbs. We've had multiple gatherings in person when we could, and now in COVID virtually. That's about, how do we connect people in the suburbs, which exist because of racism and which perpetuate racism? How do we build up the leadership of people fighting racism in the suburbs, in particular around New England? And so there's some real exciting work happening there to develop anti-racist capacity, especially in places where there may not be, like, people are in urban areas. There's this idea of like follow the leadership of color. And what we're trying to do is also to build the capacity of people in places where there actually are very small percentages of people of color. And it's like, okay, if we're a bunch of white people in a white area, what does racial justice organizing look like? And CCI's been hard at work supporting people to cross-pollinate, to meet people from other communities, to build up their capacity.
So what do you think the impact and role CCI has had in Boston and beyond, especially since June of this year, when there was a resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, COVID, of course, is challenging everyone, but CCI, really the work we specialize in is supporting leaders to go out and do their work. And so a lot of the work that we do is more like behind the scenes support work. And so like for SURJ Boston, we act as a fiscal sponsor, and we do like administrative support for white people challenging racism, which is a more classroom-based practical work. We do also fiscal sponsorship and back-end support. So we do that kind of work, and so we're not usually making headlines. It's usually our impact is, and this is one of the challenges we face. One of the reasons it's so hard to fund our work and why it's so crucial to have these, like you said, $3, $5, $10 donations, is because historically, big funders don't want to touch our work. Why? Because we are usually historically behind the scenes supporting, and it's much harder to measure it, harder to report on, harder to communicate about it. It really is like in these personal interactions, which is why it's so beautiful y'all are doing this, because you're giving us a chance to actually like connect with people, which is really how historically CCI has always done our work. It's through relationship.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Do you have anything coming up that you're maybe excited about that's going to be happening?
Yeah, so we're also launching a program called the Racial Healing Project, in which we'll be launching it in the new year, and we're going to be focusing on CCI's internal community, our board, staff, and dedicated volunteers. And what it is, it's particularly building the capacity of white people with class privilege to commit to a lifelong orientation to supporting movements for liberation. So on the one hand, we're creating spaces for healing, connection, and training, getting trained up for white people with class privilege. And that as they're doing that, they're actually being called into practice of anti-racist organizing in their own families, in their communities, in their jobs. And then in the same time, we are working in partnership with MACDO, the Massachusetts Coalition of Domestic Workers, an amazing tiny nonprofit supporting organizing of domestic workers across the state, doing earth moving work. We're going to be supporting them with material support, logistical support, to basically build the capacity for the political leadership of care workers as who should be leading our movements. So that's a long-term project. It's really just emerging in the new year. Again, we're starting with our board and staff, but our goal is to actually make that the training program and available actually to people throughout New England. So that's coming, but more in the short term, the anti-racist organizing in the suburbs, we have more programming coming up in the new year for the public.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Abraham, for coming on and chatting with us. This is such an amazing job that you all are doing, and we're glad that we can be here to help support you in this endeavor.
A huge pleasure. Y'all are doing such. Thank you. Nobody does. This is like y'all are just doing such good work to support us. Thank you.
Oh well, thank you, Abraham. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Take care.
Thank you. Wait, sorry. I want to also really thank. And also the folks from SURJ who enabled this to happen and really supported me to be able to show up and just be able to connect with you all. So thank you very much for your support.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Take care, Abraham.
Thank you so much. Yes, and that is a testament to the fact that some of the best and most important work doesn't always make the headlines.
No,
so you are helping do all of you who've donated and who will donate, you are helping to do the work that matters.
Yeah. And also, I would like to give just a huge shout out to Adi and Sophie for they're the ones that brought this idea of doing Laughing for Liberation to 2MB Studios, and we're just so thrilled to be able to offer a platform for this.
Yes,
because
much love to Adi and Sophie.
This would not be as fun if we were I would love to be face to face with people, but I have a feeling it would be a lot less fun. And a lot more just. I
mean, yeah. I'm gonna yes and that one. Okay, shall we continue? You guys ready for some more comedy?
Oh yeah. Who's ready for some more comedy? Let's make some noise in the chat.
Oh, yes.
Make sure you're still hitting that donation link. Getting those donations rolling in. Thanks, Benny Scurr, for popping that tiny URL in the chat.
Yes, and you are not limited to donating just today. The show will be up and on the 2MB Studios Twitch and YouTube, so you can go back and donate whatever. Because paychecks in 2020 looking kind of weird. So we totally understand if you can't donate today, but you want to donate in the future. The link will still be live. So come back for that replay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep the comedy rolling here. We've got a very, very, very funny comedian coming up next. I have seen her perform on our 69 Minutes of Sex with Me show, which is a really, really, really funny line game show that we do every other Friday night here on the channel.
Of smut you want in your search history.
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically just dirty pun-based humor, and this woman is the queen of it. She has won so many times. I don't even know. She's got so many trophies. So let's welcome to the virtual stage Sabrina Wu. Sabrina, hi.
Hey, so good to see you. All right. Okay. Oh, it's just me. All right. I guess I'll start. Hey. So I'm obviously Asian. I'm also gay. So everyone just thinks I'm from California. But I'm actually from the Midwest, but don't think I'm too vanilla, okay? My greatest sexual fantasy, I'm a dirty cop, okay? She's also a cop. I walk in, I'm like, you're under arrest. But she's like, you're under arrest. So then we're both like, whoa, if I'm here and you're here, then this is kind of a waste of taxpayer money. And then we do it doggy style, hyper realistically, out of respect to our canine units. Now, my second greatest sexual fantasy. Okay, I'm home alone. She's away. Now, my third greatest sexual fantasy. Okay, I'm like hot and in high school again. I'm like, oh my God, thanks for meeting me under the bleachers. She's like, oh my God, thanks for bringing alcohol. I'm like, yo, oh my God, can I kiss you? She's like, what the fuck? No, I'm not gay. I'm like, right. And then we both go to prom with boys. It's just a fantasy. I'm fine. I've dated a lot of women in the closet. And it has fucked me up. It has fucked me up to the point that I was seeing someone sort of labellessly for a year, and a year in, we're in bed together, and she turns around really emotional, and she's like, you know, I've just really enjoyed the time that we spent together. Do you think that maybe you would want to be my squirrel friend? She said squirrel friend because saying girlfriend was too embarrassing for her. Now, I've been like very depressed, like all of my adolescence, very, very like horribly, like just fucked up. Okay. But the lowest point in my whole goddamn life is easily when I turned around to her in that moment and went, that's fucking crazy. You know what's a fucked up way to try to get fucked? Saying, this squirrel isn't looking for nuts this winter. Nobody should be getting railed after that. Sorry if I seem actually crazy. I'm sorry, am I not barking up the right fucking tree? Okay. Anyways, I also have this other problem. I say sorry way too much. As I mentioned, you know, I've just, you know, had my fair share of issues, and it's, you know, I just carry a lot of shame. So I say sorry so much that I actually have started like cataloging all the different responses people will give to me. Like, people are always trying to help you if you say sorry too much. They'll be like sometimes people will be like, hey, you know, you just say sorry too much. You don't have to say sorry that much. And to that, I respond, I don't know. I just bought a $30 fidget spinner. I feel like I should be shamed. I didn't even do it when it was a fad. I did it 2 weeks ago. Sometimes they'll be like, oh my God, like, why are you sorry? And I'll be like, oh my God, sorry. You were talking, and then I thought you were about to talk, but then I interrupted. So now I'm all in my head. Sorry. I think you were saying something about how you miss Abercrombie and Fitch. And then lastly, sometimes they'll be like, you know, you just say sorry like so much because you're a woman. And I just think women sometimes say sorry when they really mean thank you. And to that, I respond, thank you for party rocking. It sounds fucking stupid. Okay. What else? Nothing is more disturbing than the vocab list that I got in high school. Like, I feel like everybody has like a weird Spanish teacher in mind I loved. And she, more than I would say teaching us like practical Spanish, loved horror. So all of my like Spanish vocab was like de golpear, which means to scalp, or degollar, which means to slit one's throat. And I just, I did not do well on the AP. Like, there's this whole section where you have to have a conversation. And I was just like, in the test, like, this weekend, I did not scalp my mother. I did not scalp my father. And I, you know, breakfast was so good, I slit my own throat. Okay. Cool. I guess I'll close on this since the chat seems active, so I'll just trust that you're listening and will respond. So basically, there is this children's book called Tiki Tiki Tembo. It's like critically acclaimed and widely taught. Like, I was taught this. The first sentence of that book is, there once was a Chinese boy named Tiki Tiki Tembo, no saw Rembo, cherry berry ruchi, pip berry pembo. No, there wasn't. But what's really fucked up is I Googled it, and the white author, when asked about what happened, was like, you know, when criticized, was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak Chinese. I just wrote down what I heard my neighbor say. So we're going to do this experiment. Okay, I think there's a little lag, so I'm just, whatever. We're going to keep going. I'm going to do this experiment. I'm going to say real Chinese, and then at some point, I'm going to say not quite Chinese, but I won't tell you when. You tell me when in the chat. Okay. Ni hao. 我的名字是吴君怡，我很喜欢吃西瓜，而且你有没有听说这个书叫 Tiki Tiki Tambo, No Saw Rambo, Cherry Berry Ruchi, Pip Berry Pembo? Either you guys are racist or there is a lag. I'm gonna anyways, I've told the joke a billion times and okay, people are getting okay. All right, I've told this joke a billion times and anyways, you guys are not the first group that has gotten it. Thank you so much for having me. Cool. Okay.
Thank
Sabrina,
you so much,
everybody.
Sabrina.
I'm scared. Oh my God. Let's chat after because I have questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Sabrina.
Do you like my psyche or like the racism?
I mean, they tried to tell me that Chicka Chicka Boom Boom was Swahili, so we need to chat.
Yeah. A lot of
we'll chat after the show.
There is a lag, Sabrina, just so you know. There is about a 30 to 45 second lag between what you say and when the chat picks up. So rest easy in knowing that.
Cool. But still, nonetheless, white people have work to do. I'm just
no. Oh,
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Take care, Sabrina. Thank you.
Sabrina Woo, one more time.
Sabrina
Make sure
Woo.
to follow her on all the socials. Tip her if you're so inclined. Tip all the performers. You know how it is.
Yeah, tip.
Shall we bring on our next act?
Yeah, I think we just need to keep trucking. Our next act, they have a show right here on 2MB Studios every Thursday called Left Night.
Make sure to watch it or punch yourself in the face. You know
the drill.
This is the contract we have with the audience.
Yeah, and honestly, in this show, if you watch it, the show will punch you in the face.
Exactly.
In a good way. So let's welcome to the show, Kendra Dawsey. Hey, Kendra.
Hi. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for saying that my show punches people in the face in a positive way. That's what I'm aiming for. Just a little consensual BDSM punching. That's what I want in life. So obviously we are all living through a very historical moment. I am finding it entirely exhausting. I do not know about you, but I am so tired. Like in June, after the George Floyd protest, there was like a bunch of white people asking me how I was doing, which like I don't like regardless of who does it, but it was especially weird during this time, right? Like, and it was all really pointed. And it was also the first time white people had been asking how I was doing. And it was all so pointed. It was like, how are you? Like they were looking into my eyes being like, how are you, Kendra? It was weird. Even my boss did it, but she had practice because I have 2 Black coworkers. But my boss asked me how I was doing around that time, like very pointedly. And I figured it wouldn't be appropriate to like swig half a bottle of wine, throw it to the floor and be like, shit sucks, bruh. So I just said I was feeling tired. Maybe not the radical honesty that she wanted, but it's okay. The pandemic has been ridiculous for me so far. It has been hard. Right before the pandemic, I went through a breakup with a live-in partner. Anyone here ever like break up with their live-in partner 3 weeks before a pandemic starts? Ayo. So that was obviously, not great. So I am Black, as you could probably tell. I'm also gay, which is important. I don't know if like people don't have gaydar, but these 70s kidnapper glasses, they have been reappropriated for a queer woman. So this is for me. And then my ex was white. So we got a cat together. We got a gray cat so that she would look like both of us, right? But now the cat is with my ex, and I'm worried that the cat's hair is never going to look right because she won't know how to do it. I'm very concerned about that. Anyway, so I broke up with my ex, and there was a little bit where my ex had moved out and I stayed in the apartment with the cat, just like kind of hanging out with the cat. It was weird because like I was like sad, doom horny, right? And then one day I noticed the cat a little bit. And the cat was doing a cute little dance in the corner. She was like kind of twerking a little bit, going back and forth on her hind legs. And I was like, oh, Tula's a kitten. Her name was Tula. She's great. Tula's a kitten. She's like, 7 months old. She's just being really cute. No big deal. She's doing something silly. I looked it up online And that little dance means she wanted to get railed hard, okay? She wanted a Tomcat train run on her. She had become a woman and she was ready to go out into the world and get fucked. It was very disturbing. So yeah, it was a lot to deal with. Like there was a lot of horny energy in the apartment and neither of us could do anything about it. So it was even worse because like the cat was so small and so horny all the time. First of all, she was like, had more horny energy than Leonardo DiCaprio at a college graduation, which was very disconcerting. Second, and I could show you evidence of this, my cat was so horny that it permanently messed up my Spotify playlist because I would play cat music for her to try to dehornify her, and it mostly worked, right? Like she would stop like yowling as much. But to this day, you look at my Spotify 2020 top 100 songs, a good 10 of the songs are just like horny cat bangers, you know? So that was rough. That was rough for me. So that was a wild time. But you know, I survived that, obviously. My ex got the cat. I moved into an apartment with 2 white people the week of the George Floyd protests, and they were so nice to me. They didn't mind that I didn't unpack for a week because they just figured I was hurting. So I just want to give a shout out to them. I will end with this very quickly, or actually like semi-quickly. So obviously, yeah, like I had a white ex, or I have a white ex. And I think the idea is that in the Black, like people have a stereotype of the Black community as being like more homophobic, but that's not necessarily true at all, right? Like I came out to my dad about 4 years ago. And when I came out to him, he said to me, you know what, Kendra? This world is so scary. If you are able to find love in someone and they are able to find love in you, then I am happy for you no matter what that person's gender is. Like he was very nice about it, right? And then he asked me, is she Black though? And I understood why he did that because, you know, I grew up in the suburbs. That's why I sound like this. I grew up in the suburbs of New York City. And I think my parents' first fear was like, I would date a person, you know, like for many years, 5 years, date a white person, 5 years, try to learn everything about them, all of that. And then realize a little too late that the only rap music they listen to is Eminem. You know, I think that would be bringing dishonor on my ancestors. It would make a very, very awkward Thanksgiving. So I try to avoid that. I think that is my time, everyone. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Kendra, Dawsey, everybody.
Have a great rest of your night. Yeah.
We have a question in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Real quick, I want to bring this up. They're wanting to know where the Horny Cat Bangers playlist is.
Okay, so they're like not actually bangers. It's like weird instrumental music. Oh. If you search music for cats by David Teie, I think is his name. There are 2 albums that should calm your cat down. It works for some cats, but they also recommend you don't play it more than an hour because I think the cat gets agitated. But like the cat,
I really thought like the top 2 songs on that playlist were gonna be "Wet Ass Pussy," and "Rum Tum Tugger" from the I was convinced.
Also, "Memory" is thrown in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I think.
True. Yeah, maybe I should have played that to my cat, and she would have just like,
damn, she would have calmed down and gone to the whatever.
Thank you so much, Kendra. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you. We'll see you on Thursday.
You.
Bye.
Fantastic. Yeah, so check out that Horny Cat playlist. Also, I've been asked to remind our amazing audience right now, still over 100 people watching right now, 100 people in the chat, over 100 people in the chat. Thank you so much for sticking around. We're about a quarter of the way into hour 2 right now. This is awesome. But I want to remind you, when you make your donation, make sure you can make it anonymously if you want, but keep the amount available to see so we can keep a running tally.
Yes.
So we like to know how well we're doing.
And we want to relay back to you how far your generosity is going. So thank you so much to those of you who donated, and thank you in advance to anyone who plans to donate in the near future. Can I do some quick shout outs real quick?
Do some quick shout. I wish you would.
To people in the chat, thank you. Shout out to Joey Blue Eyes, whose knuckles hurt. I'm sorry, but also, you know what it is. Shout out to Chloe Cunha, Shiyan, who'll be on with us later. Tara, aka Terabyte. Shout out to Kaylee Kane. So many people in the chat. Thank you all for like hanging out and watching with us. It's so great to see so many of you actively participating and joining with us and encouraging to others to donate. Thank you to Ben for dropping that donation link.
Yeah. Oh, he's on top of that. He's on top of that.
All right, let's keep it rolling. I'm so excited.
Let's keep it going. Our next comedian also has a show here on Toonby Studios every Wednesday, part of our Makers Wednesday lineup. He's a comic. He also does web comics.
And they're
very, very funny. Very fun to just like sit and listen to while he draws. It's fantastic. Let's welcome to the show Tawanda Gona. Tawanda.
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
Hey.
What's up, Matt? What up, Tooky? What's cracking?
Oh my God. Tawanda.
What up? What up?
Take it away. It's all you.
Come on, no, y'all can stay here for this. I don't need to be by myself. Both y'all. All right, fine. If you want me, all right. It's about to get. I'm about to say something. I'm not gonna get evil, but I'm about to just have a lot on my mind because it's Corona, so I might as well just be like, whatever. All right, so let's do this. So it's been fucked up this year. 2020 sucks. It's crazy. It's like as an American, it's bad. Like we got a mysterious virus. We got a president that won't leave. Everyone's broke. As an American, this is trash. But me, I'm from the third world. So this is just Thursday, bro. Like what? Oh my God. It's a mysterious virus. It's been around for a year. Ooh. Your president wants to leave. The president won't leave after 4. What is he, a rookie? Like, relax, bro. It's bad, but it's not like that bad. Shit could be worse. Like, imagine if we had like natural resources. We'd be fucked. This would be the perfect time to invade a country where the president's crazy, people are broke. This is where you invade a country, but all we got is corn. So no one's invading us for fucking ethanol. That shit don't work. Nobody wants a Prius that bad. And the pandemic is even like that crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's like, yeah, it's bad, but shit could be worse. It's not a real like pandemic until you see like UNICEF vans rolling around outside and Madonna trying to buy kids. That's when shit's bad. Like when Madonna's trying to buy kids, like, I want him right there. I'll make him dance. That's when it's bad. All right. I want to start that aggressively, but it's fine. What's up, y'all? I live in Brooklyn. I live in New York. I date in the city still. I'm trying to date during the pandemic because, I'm crazy. And New York is just like, it's a place where like you have to date because everyone's hot. This is a sexy city. Like, I don't know if anybody's from New York, but like New York is super hot. Like, it's a sexy city because like everyone here is beautiful because the city itself is ugly. Like the city is trash. Like, it's trash everywhere. The streets are filled with like shit and rats and stuff. It's hard not to be hot against it. If you can't be hot next to like an abandoned baby stroller, then you should just give up, bro. So that's what I'm saying. Like New York is that. New York is that. And I've been trying to date. I've been doing like the Tinder shit, and it's been okay, but it's been an adjustment. Because before Corona in BC, before Corona, like if a girl stopped texting me, I'd be like, oh shit, I got ghosted. That hurts, but I'll move on. But now I'm just like, oh shit, she might be dead. Like she might be an actual ghost. In which way? It's not my fault. So my self-esteem is still intact. It's a beautiful thing. All right. That was a couple things I wanted to say. It's cool. We're out here trying to survive. Everyone's going to WebMD. Everyone's going to like the free clinics to get tested for a disease. We've been doing that for a long time. Like before that, there's chlamydia and we're fine. Like shout out to anybody who's had chlamydia out here. Like I have. It's not the best, but it's not like the worst. Chlamydia is not the worst thing to get, right? Think about it. It's not the worst one to get, is it? Now let's be real. Like some of y'all at home are sitting there nodding, like, yeah, because chlamydia, like it could be like you can have like thrush, or you could have like like crab. You could have some shit. Like chlamydia is just like that's a one shot. Chlamydia is not that bad. That's all I'm trying to say. Like you can also tell who's had chlamydia if they can spell chlamydia. They know where that Y goes. They've been to a free clinic at least 3 times, and it's okay. You take a pill once, and it's all right. You'll be good. I've been in the house for a while. I've been in the house and stuff. So I'm trying to. I said I was gonna try to enrich myself and read books and stuff, but I just been watching porn. I've been watching porn heavy, not a lot. But I've been watching porn in a creepy way. I watch I don't watch fetishy shit like that. Not to knock it, but I do creepy shit. And the creepiest thing I do right now is I read the comments on porno videos. Yeah. I read the comments because it makes me feel like there are other people here and I don't feel alone anymore. And now it's also the porn I watch is I realized I was watching it too deep because I was reading the comments, and on top of that, I was watching the beginnings of pornos, and the beginnings be I didn't realize how crazy they got, but I watched one that it scarred me. All right, so the one I watched, it was a babysitter, right? And a dad, a dude. It was a black dude because it has to be, for me, it has to be a black guy because I like to imagine that that's me in there doing this shit. I like to picture myself in the situation. And I want to watch a white dude because that's not, I'm not white. It's like VR. But anyway, so I was watching this shit, right? And the dude says to the woman at the beginning, he's just like, yo, where's my son? That's how this porno started. Where is my son? And she says, I don't know. And he's like, I just want my son back. And then she says, why don't you sit down, relax, let me relax you, and we can do whatever. And she's taking her clothes off, and he says solemnly, I just want my son back, dog. And then they had sex. That's how the porno ended. They had sex, and after when it was done, they never found his son. And I was so confused, and I went to the comments, and I read the comments, and I saw one dude be like, yo, where's his son at? And I was like, oh my God, thank you, fucking MAGA Jizz 420. Thank you for understanding where I'm coming from. We are all in this together. All right, that's my time. Y'all take care.
Tawanda, Gona.
Thank you so much.
Wait, before you go, Tawanda, I need to know.
What up?
Are you ready for December 21st?
To get my superpowers? Hell yeah! What you mean? Well, to be honest, I just hope that having powers is cool, but I want some money. I just need some money. Money is the ultimate power.
Venmo Tawanda.
Venmo, my Venmo's not even there because I put the charity shit up there, but my Venmo is my name with a hyphen in it, the old Jay-Z, not the new Jay-Z, but the old Jay-Z. Send me some money.
Yes, and Venmo all your black friends on December 21st.
Venmo all of us. I don't know if you heard from
Twitter.
You're white. You have guilt somewhere lying around.
Oh, 100%. I got a stack of it right here.
Then send it.
Absolutely. That's December 21st. Sure.
December 21st. That's the real Christmas. I'm gonna listen to Donny Hathaway this Christmas on December 21st. Yeah, I'm gonna have powers.
All right. Thanks, Tawanda.
Thank you, Tawanda.
Have a good one, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
No doubt, for sure.
Oh, fantastic. And that show, his show, Tawanda Draws, is so good. Definitely check that out.
Yes.
Wednesdays at 7 right here on 2MB. So we have hit and surpassed the 3K.
Well, damn.
$3,000 mark.
Well, damn.
And that's without all the anonymous donations that they haven't seen yet. So we're probably way over that. And I think I said I wanted to hit $4,000 by the end of by the end. Now I think we still have a good hour and a half to go. I think we could get up to 5. I think it's possible. We only need less than $2,000.
Yes. So tell a friend to tune in, watch, click the donation link. And
absolutely,
if not today, then for a future donation, because the link will still work after the show has wrapped.
And if you've already given $10, maybe think to yourself, could I give 10 more? Could I? Probably. But maybe not. But if you can, great.
But also tip your performers for tonight. If you really love somebody, you've seen their Venmo in the roll below. So make sure to follow them on social media and leave them a little something, something.
Yeah. All right. Well, coming up next, we have just another very, very funny person coming up next. She has a show called Cook It Right with Jamie Lynn, where she teaches her friend Colin, who barely knows how to boil water, how to cook, and it's quite funny. Let's welcome to the show, Jamie Lynn. Hi, Jamie.
Hi. Hello. Thank you for having me. Okay. Oh boy. Oh no, I'm all by myself. Great. So for the fundraiser, I thought I would sing some Christmas carols that I've updated for our most cursed year of 2020. My computer is perched on top of my piano, so I'm hoping it doesn't get too loud, but I'm gonna apologize in advance if it does. All right, here we go. So this next song is gonna be about the perils of capitalism and consumerism on this holiday. It came upon the midnight clear that Amazon truck on our streets with whiskey rocks for brother-in-law and Legos for my niece. Peace on earth, goodwill to men, except from Jeff Bezos, our king. He'll dance on warehouse workers' corpses to fulfill one-day shipping. And now for my last song, I thought I would do something more upbeat, a modern Christmas classic that I found works for almost any holiday you can think of. Like Halloween. I don't want a lot for Halloween. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about free candy till you're standing next to me. I only wanna be a kitty if your couple's costuming with me. Make my wish come true. All I want for Halloween is you. This also works for Boston's favorite holiday, St. Patrick's Day. I don't need a four-leaf clover. I won't wear a shade of green, and I just needed to come over and get glad you're drunk with me. Or Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Cause I have a dream that one day, like truth, you'll hold me self-evidently. I'll make my dream come true. All I want for Martin Luther King Jr. Day is you. This also works for really somber religious holidays, like Easter. Easter eggs I'm hunting since Jesus has died. But no resurrections, baby, till you're back by my side. Or Chinese tomb sweeping day. Ancestral tunes I'm sweeping in. Let's go food I'm feasting. Baby, I won't drink one sip of tea until you make another scream with me. Or really fringe holidays like I don't want a lot for Arbor Day. This is all I'm asking for. The only thing you should be planting is right outside your bedroom door. Or which we should stop celebrating and instead acknowledge Indigenous Peoples' Day, especially the land that was stolen from them, especially by Columbus, who was a genocidal slaver who didn't even find the place he was looking for. He's Donate to CCI and happy holidays.
Thank you, Jamie.
Oh my gosh.
So good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Incredible.
Oh, so
Jamie,
so-
I'm schwitzing. This is so much.
Jamie Lynn. Yeah.
Can I'm gonna have to hit her up about doing one for Yom Kippur.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She would do requests. Just reach out.
Oh my God, beautiful, amazing voice. Make sure to check her out. Is it every fourth Sunday?
Every fourth Sunday at 3:00.
Yes. Be here. Yes.
Cook it right with Jamie.
I don't know if you understand the theme that we have. The motif, the leitmotif of this fundraiser. Watch these people's content or punch yourself in the face. So,
Right in
there
the
we go.
face.
Jamie Lynn, everybody. Next up, who we got next? This is
Oh.
great.
Very excited. We're gonna keep the comedy rolling. Let's see. Our next comedian is coming. Let's see. Her name is Diala Taneeb. I'm sorry.
Taneeb,
and welcome, Diala.
Hi. Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Hello, of course. Take it away.
Yeah, I think I'm the first Muslim for the evening. I'm pretty sure, which makes sense. Like, I figured, okay, they don't want to totally kill their chances of getting donations in the first segment. Let's start bringing out the Muslims maybe like the second segment later on. Makes sense. I probably would have done the same thing. Anyway, my name is Diala Taneeb. I am from Palestine. Most of the time when I tell people I'm from Palestine, for some reason they think I'm saying Pakistan. So if you're also unfamiliar with Palestine, you probably know a really famous Palestinian. His name was Jesus. And he was born there. So listen, I grew up in South Virginia. And when I would tell people that, when I would explain that to them, they'd be like, well, praise the Lord. Y'all believe in Jesus. Get out of here. And I'd be like, yes, we have a lot in common. We both believe in Jesus, we believe in God, and we believe that it is okay to marry your cousin. Like, we have a lot going on here, maybe we can be friends. And, for the most part, I was accepted in the South. Like, I wasn't wearing hijab yet or anything, but I was accepted. I had one teacher, Miss Dalton, in 6th grade, and she didn't like me very much. Because whenever Miss Dalton would get mad, I would start to laugh, okay? She'd get mad and she'd say, y'all, don't make me fuss. Don't make me fuss. And my friend Sky pulls me aside and she's like, Diala, you have to stop laughing when Miss Dalton gets mad. Like, it's really disrespectful. And I'm like, Sky, you don't understand. Fuss in Arabic means fart. Okay? Like, how am I supposed to play it cool when she's like, I swear to God, I'm about to fuss big time. And trust me, y'all, trust me. If I fuss, it's gonna stink. So don't let it happen. So I tell Sky this, and of course, the next day, Sky and I both get sent to the principal's office because she couldn't stop laughing either. I'm so beyond defending my culture or my religion or my language or heritage or whatever to people. I'm beyond. I have to defend my religion to my phone. To my phone. Every time I write the word hijab, okay, like hijab, in my phone, autocorrect changes it to hijack. I have literally sent messages that say, hey, can you send me that hijack tutorial? Or wait till you see my hijack tomorrow. Or my favorite is when I sent to all my Muslim sisters out there, happy International Hijack Day. I can't catch a break, I swear to God. Or even Uber, like how you have like 60 seconds before the driver goes away. Well, I mean, all of you guys have brown friends. You know that we have absolutely no concept of time. So, by the way, I realized that as a Muslim who wears hijab, you really should not run out of your building screaming, 10 seconds left, 10 seconds left. I didn't even realize what I was doing until my neighbor drops all her stuff. She's like, please, not me, not me. So just word of caution to anyone taking an Uber. Contrary to popular belief, or what you guys might assume, my family is actually very supportive of my comedy. My grandmother, and by the way, in Arabic we call our grandmothers teta, okay? So my teta calls me yesterday, and she's like, "Hi Diala, how are you? You have a show tomorrow, right? Okay. Allah be with you. Okay. Maybe you meet somebody nice, maybe a nice boy will add you on Facebook, or maybe he will follow you on Instagram. Keep your eye out. Find good husbands. I'm checking for guys at you. I'm checking for guys for you at the mosque. Okay, so don't worry." And I'm like, "Teta, are you there for praying or for like pimping me out? Like, which one is it?" And she's like, "Oh, Diala, shut up. This is not a comedy show." Anyway, listen to me, Diala. I got a piece of paper in the mail, and there's one word I don't know what it means. Can you tell me what it is? And I was like, "Yeah, sure, Teta. Go ahead. What is it?" And she's like, "Likbitek." What? Likbitek. Teta, is this an Arabic word? Is this an English word? No. This is English word. I'm reading it right here. Likbitek. And I'm like, "Teta, I don't understand what you're saying, sweetie. Read it. Use it in a sentence. Like, you read it to me." Okay. It says, "Please join us in supporting the Likbitek community." Teta, LGBTQ? You know what she says to me? She's like, "I can't believe you know how to spell it, but you don't even know how to say it." Those are Arabs for you. You guys are probably wondering why I'm in comedy, and I actually work in advertising too. You're probably wondering why I'm not like most Muslims that you know who are doctors or engineers or gas station owners. Here's the thing. When I was in 8th grade, my parents moved me from South Virginia to Palestine, okay? They're like, "Don't worry, it's okay. We're going to put you in this like international school." And they did put me in an English-speaking school where the teachers don't speak English, okay? My biology teacher walks in one day and she's like, "Good morning, class. Okay, today what we're going to do, we're going to talk about all the different living orgasms." Yes. We have so many orgasms. We have orgasms in the sky, and we have orgasms in the land, and we even have orgasms in the water. And of course, we were in Palestine, so somebody raises their hand. They're like, "Miss Dana, what about orgasms in the desert?" And she said, "No, you can't have orgasms in the desert. It's too dry." You guys, thank you so much for having me. Please please donate. Please don't request for a refund just because a Muslim came up on your screen. It'll be okay. Follow me on Instagram at Diala Taneeb, and thank you so much for having me.
Diala Taneeb, everybody. Thank you so much again. That was so fantastic. It's just me and my giant head on screen for the time being, but thank you to everyone participating in the chat. Yes, I don't quite have updates on donations just yet, but I know that we have passed the $3,000 mark. So thank you to everyone who's donated thus far, and thank you to everyone who plans to donate in the near future, because the link will still be active once this show has wrapped. So I am so excited to bring on your next comedian for the evening. He is a former writer for Last Week Tonight and currently writes and produces for Jesus and Mara on Showtime, which highly recommend. Very good time. Bodega Boys content. I live for it. Oh, you are all in for such a treat. Give a warm welcome to Josh Gondelman.
Hi, everyone. Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Take it away.
Oh, I shall. It's as good as away. Hi, everyone. This is me. This is what I'm like. I am at home, as I have been for months. I imagine it's so nice to be here with you, here with me. I had to scale it back. I was drinking a lot early during the pandemic, and I scaled it back. It was totally fine, but I know a bunch of friends. I have a bunch of friends. I live in New York now who have moved, though. A bunch of friends have moved across the country, and they have given up drinking entirely, but they've replaced it with smoking just a ton of weed, which that doesn't seem quite a one-to-one replacement, right? Like, because everyone I know who quit drinking, they quit, no drink. You can't drink at night because it becomes a problem. But then to substitute, they smoke weed just dawn till dusk. Because I guess like, well, I'm not supposed to, I'll just do it the whole time. But anyway, they have a name for it. No booze, all weed. They call it Cali sober, like California sober. That's the slang for it, for real. And that's too relaxed for me. I'm from the East Coast. I grew up in Massachusetts, live in New York City. California sober, that to me just sounds like the name of a Red Hot Chili Peppers cover band that you formed in rehab. Too chill for my taste. I need to be around people. I prefer to be around people who are like Boston sober. That's what I relate to. That's who's familiar to me. And Boston sober is, of course, when you're legally ordered to quit drinking because you keep crashing your car into the same Dunkin' Donuts. That's what that is. And that's what I need. People who are legally ordered to be less fun. I think that's just an intensity that I relate to. I have a friend who has been trying to date. Tawanda was talking about this earlier, trying to date during the pandemic. And I wanted to be helpful. I wanted to help her find someone that maybe she could trust that's not just like a random person off the street or whatever. Off the street. Where's she finding? Hey, come in here, date me. That's not, nobody does that. But it's just a random person that, that isn't vouched for by a friend. And so I said, what do you like? What do you look for in a guy? And she said, well, first of all, I really am into a guy with good forearms. And I did not know what that meant. I didn't know. What do you want in a forearm? What makes it good? Is it length? Is it girth? Help me out here. I didn't know. I don't notice. I'm just like, I feel like such a dumb oaf. I could be looking at people's forearms, appreciating them aesthetically, but to me, I've used forearms as just like a dude of my age. I'd never thought about it. And maybe it's not a gendered thing, but I will say that to me, forearms are a lot like towels in that they all seem basically the same to me. And the ones I've been working with for like 30 years. So there's not that much gradation in turnover. I said, what makes a good forearm? What are you looking for? She said, well, one, I like a muscular forearm. I like a strong guy. Well, that makes sense. It shows that, he pays attention, works out. It's, that I understand liking when someone has musculature. And then she said, number two, I really like, I like tattoos. I think that's attractive on a forearm. And I was like, sure, but that's not a good forearm. Those are accessories, right? You don't get to claim credit of your body on your body for accessories, do you? That's like me going, hey, I have a terrific head of hair in that I own several hats. So don't worry about it. Just a full head of hat. That is a quality that I have. I don't. I still wouldn't know what to think about with forearms. I looked at my own. If you would ask me to describe my own forearms, I wouldn't know what to say. I would be like, well, they start at my wrist and end at my elbow. And other than that, you're on your own. I have freckles, I realized recently on my forearm, which literally means I don't know myself as well as the back of my own hand. That's preposterous. Here's how deep it goes. I'm a married person. I love my wife so much. I think she's so beautiful. I look at her every day and just think, wow, what a lovely lady, head to toe. But if she disappeared and someone told me, Josh, I think we found your wife, but you have to tell us, what do her forearms look like? That's what we saw. I would say, I guess she will stay missing. I wish her a good life out there with her unidentifiable forearms. I will tell you this before I skedaddle. A friend recently, I think people are getting a little cooped up, a little cabin fevery lately. A friend called me or texted me the other day to tell me that I showed up in a sexy dream that she had, but after the sexy part, which was at first hurtful, right? Well, at first it was impressive. I was like, people have sexy dreams that extend past the sexy part. In my experience, you have a sexy dream, you wake up immediately once the sexy part ends, you do a little triage, and then you fall back peacefully asleep, right? But she just keeps going. It's like a whole day. It's like a before sunrise or something. They just like, oh, it's not about the sex. There's so much more. But at first then I was hurt. I was impressed, then I was hurt, because I was like, why would you tell me that? I don't need to know that. But this is what had happened. She described the dream to me. She was making love to someone, and we were supposed to be having dinner together, but she was late because the aforementioned engagement. And when she showed up, I made fun of her, and we had dinner together. And so now, to me, I'm glad that that's what happened in the dream, right? At first I was hurt, then I was glad. Because when you have a sexy dream about someone, you never wake up just feeling like, I knew that's how I felt about that person, right? It's always something weird and off. You're always just like, Nana? Oh boy, I guess I do need to Google therapists, right? But in this dream, I was not the object of that. In this dream, I was a patient friend. I was a charming dinner companion. I was loyal and enthusiastic to spend time. This is what our relationship is. In fact, here's what I think. I don't even think that this was a sexy dream that I showed up at the end of. I think what she was having was a friendship dream about me that just started with like a gratuitous sex scene to hook in the viewers. And you don't need that. Trust the writing, trust the story. This isn't Game of Thrones. Let's just vibe. Thank you guys so much for having me. I had a real blast, and please donate. That's what we're here for. Everybody donate, and thank you so much. Have a great night, everyone. All right, great. Oh,
Josh Gondelman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Josh, I don't know if you remember this, but you came to town like a couple of years ago during your residency at the studio.
I do. I saw you at the comedy studio. I know. Well, I was bringing, this story flusters me so much because I brought it, my parents, I brought an Emmy to give to my parents to have at their house. And it was a cost and so I just rolled up to the comedy studio to do a set. I came right from the bus, or not the bus, I came right from the train from New York. And I just had an Emmy in my bag. And I felt like that because I hadn't been back in a long time. And I just felt like everyone was like, is this what this asshole just does now?
It was great. It was great. I appreciated it.
Well, thank you.
But thank you so much for joining us tonight, and wonderful job. Oh, snap. That was abrupt. Hi, everybody. We're back. Hello. One more time for Josh Gondelman. He's so great. Make sure to check out all his social medias. He's very funny and active on Twitter. And check out the Jesus and America show. And also, don't forget to donate. If you haven't already, check out the donation link, which should be in the chat. Scroll up or scroll down. It should be there. And it should also be available to you once you check out the show again on the replay, if you're so inclined to donate in the future. Next up. Ooh, this is we have a very exciting guest. Okay, so all the way from the Twin Cities, former co-host of Bill Corbett's Funhouse and an MC at the Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis. Give a warm welcome to Brandi Brown.
Hey everyone. I'm excited to be a part of this. I'm excited to fix racism, I guess. Yeah, I'm excited to be I've accidentally joined the Boston comedy scene. Excited to be a part of that because there's no drama I can possibly be involved in. I don't know you guys like that, so that's awesome. Let's tell some jokes. I love the internet. It's ridiculous. I saw a post on Facebook from this guy, and he wrote, "You guys, the most amazing thing happened to me. I was outside peeing, and all of a sudden a hummingbird came and drank from my stream." Yeah. I was like, wow, what a magical way to find out that you're diabetic. It's like, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay, my oh my. Get some insulin today, man. Come on, you're going to die. Come on. I've been having some trouble sleeping, so I was taking melatonin, which is a natural chemical your brain makes to regulate sleep. But one of the side effects is that you have insane nightmares. Just very vivid, wild dreams. So I took some melatonin and I was at my boyfriend's house. And the next day he goes, "Hey, is everything okay? You were kind of thrashing around in your sleep." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just the melatonin I took." And then he goes, "Oh, I don't have that problem because I'm white." I was like, What? And then I realized he thought I meant melanin, which is skin pigment. And I was like, "Oh no, honey, I don't have bad dreams because I'm black. Just a hellish existence. But more importantly, why would I be taking stay black pills every night? Like, just because we're having sex, I'm not going to catch your whiteness and then wake up one morning like, oh, I need to listen to Sweet Caroline on a loop and then fuck up the latest dance craze." Like, no, that's not all how that works. No. Boston loves St. Patrick's Day, and I love St. Patrick's Day. Actually, St. Patrick's Day is my favorite holiday because it's a one day each year that a car full of black people is less likely than a car full of white people to get pulled over by the cops. And that is very exciting to my people. Just love that holiday. I told that joke in a town about 60 miles west of Minneapolis, and they were cool all show, and I hit that punchline. It was just nothing. And then I realized, I was like, "Oh, you guys have never seen a car full of black people." And they're like, "Nope, no, we have not." And I was like, to them, a car full of black people was me and possibly Barack Obama in a smart car. And they're just like, "Oh, all right." So just in case you're wondering, post-racial America is in Dassel, Minnesota, where they literally do not see color. So fun fact if you're out here for some weird reason. Hey, have you ever noticed that Mama Bear from the Berenstain Bears is always wearing a nightgown? Like, I get it. She lives in a tree with her annoying kids and her boring husband, but I don't know, maybe put on a different outfit. Take that hat off. Run a paw through your hair. What are you doing? Come on now. True story. I once got into a fight with the Berenstain Bears official Twitter account about this because I followed them because I knew one day I'd catch them in a lie, and I did. And I was like, "Why is Mama Bear wearing a nightgown?" And they were like, "She's not." And I was like, I had a picture of her in the blue polka dotted outfit and then another picture of her in the same outfit, but it was in purple and she was in bed. I'm like, "Clearly a nightgown. What's going on here?" And they said the greatest thing. They're like, "Oh, you just don't understand their clothing." And I was like, no. One, it is a children's book. And two, I have depression. I understand inappropriate pajama wearing. Why is she wearing a nightgown? They just ended the conversation there. I gotta get out of here, but before I go, I'm from Minneapolis, but I went to college actually out in Massachusetts. And while I was there, I learned something, just one thing. I learned that on the East Coast, saying I'm from Minnesota is the same as saying I'm a complete moron. Like, nobody cares what you do or what you say. They just start talking slowly to you, impressed you got there by yourself. True story, I got caught drinking in my college town cemetery by the cops, and the officer walks up to me and goes, "What are you doing?" And I just panicked, and I was like, "I'm from Minnesota?" And I kid you not, he then goes, "Oh, we don't do that here. Welcome." And he just let me go. Because to him, Minnesota is a lawless alcoholic's paradise. Or once again, someone has confused us with Wisconsin. All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Donate money. Do whatever you gotta do. Help them out. This fundraiser. It's awesome. Thanks for having me.
Brandi Brown, everybody. Brandi, real quick before you go, you ready for December 21st?
Oh, yeah. When they're unlocking our DNA.
Yes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm
a little like, I got a lot going on and I just got like my chemicals and my brain balance. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited because, I have weak arms. So
we're going to have like a support group going. So like when
and
we
Ben,
have our newfound powers.
Brandi!
I missed you on Mondays.
I forced them to let me into the show so I could say hi to you.
Yay.
Thank you so much again, Brandi. Wonderful job.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good luck with this. Yeah.
Brandi.
Bye.
All right. So a couple things, a couple orders of business. I just got word from Adi. We have surpassed $3,800 in donations.
What?
So thank you so much again. I mean, like, we couldn't do this without you. So, I mean, this is all you. Thank you so much.
Tookie's absolutely right. It looked like so much fun. I wasn't going to let Matt do the whole thing, so I had to hop on with Tookie and be here for the rest of the show. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. I want to say thank you to all our performers who are on the show. I want to say thank you to everybody watching and donating. We are so just thrilled with this night and how it's going and how funny it is and how generous you're all being. So just keep it going and let's keep the comedy going, Tookie.
Hell yeah. And real quick, I would like to, I don't know if they're watching, but I would like to give an extra special shout out to someone who just followed me on Twitter, at Spaghetti Tits. Thank you. And thank you for that handle.
What a handle.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah. I always try to, I spend way too much time trying to think of cool handles. And then Spaghetti Tits shows me that it doesn't matter how long I take. I'll never reach the pinnacle.
At Spaghetti Tits. Yes. All right. So let's keep it rolling. I'm really, oh gosh, everybody who we've had on the show is just absolutely killing it. And it's gonna be no different with this next performer because she's fantastic.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's such a funny singer, and she's gonna sing some really funny, amazing songs for us. So everybody give it up for Nora.
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys so much. I'm so freaking excited to be here. Usually I play things on my ukulele, but I am at an empty cabin in the Berkshires. So all I have is this old keyboard that my family used to have in our house. So I retaught myself how to play the piano for this. A little bit about me. Oh, was that my cat or a ghost? Just my cat. We're good. Could be a ghost. They could have befriended each other. I am biracial. I am half white and half Iranian. I am also bisexual. I am half straight and half gay because I cannot commit to anything. I am, my Venmo is not on the bottom of the screen, which is fine. Don't send me any money. Send the money to the program that we're raising money for, which I'm very, very excited to be here for. Spaghetti Tits, great name. It reminded me of, there's my Venmo. Venmo me half of whatever you Venmo all of the other artists who are actually artists of color instead of me, who is not of color, lacking of color. Back to the tits. That's the most important thing I wanted to talk about. I would like to discuss tits of weird shapes. I was once having sex with this woman and I took my shirt off and she went, "Oh my God, you have like baby nipples." And then I didn't know how to respond to that, so I did not. And then after that, she said, she texted me and she said, "You were the first woman I ever had sex with. By the way, I don't think I'm gay." And it's hard to not read that as my fault. I'm glad that I helped her with her experience, figuring out her sexuality, but it's hard to not think that it was my baby nipples that did the trick. I'm happy to be on the show. I feel like they hyped me up a little bit too much. I prepared one song for the show and it's not really that funny, so I apologize. This is a song, I know that, we've had Black Lives Matter protests going on all through the summer and into the winter, and now with the shooting and murder of Casey Goodson Jr., those are, coming up again. And so, this is obviously a very tragic and hard time in the United States for everybody, especially for Black Americans. But I think we need to realize that it's a hard time for the police officers out there too, I think we don't really get to hear their side of the story in most cases. So I would like to play a song from the point of view of a police officer. It's called "I Am a Bastard." Just so you guys know, like I said, I have not played the piano since I was 16 years old. So I practiced for a few hours today and hopefully I don't make any mistakes like I was earlier. So here we go. I am a bastard. Hopefully you guys can hear the music. Woo! Woo, there we go. From an early age, I knew I was a bastard. My parents told me so to keep me in line. They said you're not good enough, so I learned how to play rough. I figured out I had to fight for what is mine. The kids at school told me I was a bastard, 'cause I never could keep up with them in class. They called me all sorts of names, like idiot and shit for brains, so I learned to gain respect by kicking ass. I got real strong and I became one mean bastard. I could pummel any nerd down to the ground. But then the nerds all went to university, and I was left behind to see how great they could do without me around. I started to believe I was a bastard, a big dumb brute too stupid for a job. But then I got me a gun, and I felt second to none. I found my calling and I became a cop. When you're a cop, they don't care if you're a bastard. In fact, it's a key part of the gig. They give you toys to play with, like tear gas, mace, and nightsticks that'll snap any civilian like a twig. If you ask my wife, she'll tell you I'm a bastard. But she's a drama queen, to say the least. She'll say I gave her a black eye, but all I see is a thin blue line that runs parallel to the tears coming down her cheeks. When I get caught, they'll say, oh, he's just a bastard. He never really learned his social cues. He stepped on that guy's neck by accident, I'll bet. Don't mind him, that's just what bastards do. Thank you so much. I've been Nora Panahi for this comedy show. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nora Panahi, everybody. Make sure to follow her on all the socials and check out her show right here on Twitch. Short Tail, Tall Tail. Is that
yes, Tall Tail, Short Tail. Pretty much the same thing.
Tall Tail, Short Tail. I knew that. I swear I knew that. It's every first Saturday right here on 2MB's Twitch channel.
Oh, that song gave me all the feels, Nora. That went like that song had everything. It was funny. It made me think. It made me go ooh a couple times in a good way.
Ben,
We love the ooh.
for you.
Just for me. Oh man, good. Oh, I need it. So, like, I feel like as a white man, I was probably who that was aimed at. So I'm learning. I'm getting it. Yeah, that was amazing.
Thanks.
Thank you, Nora.
Bye.
Bye. Oh man. Oh, we love a song that makes you go but ooh.
Yeah. When you're like oh, right. That's the best.
We love it. Oh man, we are all the way into. Oh my gosh, what is time?
We're going into our third block. We're going into our final block. I mean, this is amazing. We're like 2 hours into our show. It's been amazing.
Yes.
What a show! Like just from beginning to end so far. Like it's been. Sometimes you go see a show and you're like, okay, there's some lags. This show has been like from beginning to end,
killer throughout.
Pedal to the metal. It's been amazing.
Yes,
it's been amazing.
So thank you to everyone in the audience who's viewing and everyone in the chat for sticking around with us, tuning in, and donating. Again, we can't do this without you. So
and keep donating to CCI and keep donating to all our performers. Their Venmos are going to be up on the screen, so pay those performers if you're enjoying what you're seeing. And should we just keep the show rolling along here?
Let's keep the train choo-choo. I don't know.
Let's keep the train choo-chooing along. Yeah, that's
cool.
I love that. I love that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Our next performer is this is huge. This is huge. She is owner of the Rossi Square Theater. That is huge. It's you know, because it's uphill a lot of times for people of color to actually own, you know, a business and a piece of property. So this is so great to have her on, and general manager of CZ Sports Boston as well. So
That's right.
Absolute delight to have her.
That's amazing. She's a really great pillar in our comedy community and in just our community in general here in Boston. We're thrilled to have her, and she's telling a story tonight, I believe. So I'm super excited to hear what she has to say. Everybody, please give it up for Courtney Pong. Courtney!
Hey,
Thanks for being on the show.
thanks for having me. Oh, so it is 2016 on a cold February day, and I have finished cashing in my first ever one-way ticket. As I leave the plane, I take my very first steps in Boston toward nobody. I don't have any friends here. I don't have any family. You see, I moved here because a company that I had been a part of for over 15 years, the opportunity had bubbled up to own and manage the Massachusetts location, or there were talks that it might potentially close. My responsibility would be to take the same community that I had been a part of for over 15 years in California and recreate it here in Boston. Now, I had adored this community for over 15 years, and it had become so deeply rooted in my life that I became obsessed over time, over a course of months, thinking about the idea of it possibly closing and that being taken away. And it became inevitable that I found myself saying the words to my owner and my manager, you know, I don't want to leave, but I just can't stay. And so I moved all the way from San Francisco to Boston. And now I am cold all the time. Now, when I moved to Boston, other than the weather, I did commit all the way to being a full Bostonian. I got a Sox cap, and I bought a Charlie card, and I rode the T. I developed an unreasonable amount of undeserved pride. I committed all the way to being a Bostonian. And even still, navigating the first 6 to 8 weeks were a roller coaster. My entire adulthood up until that time, you know, was accustomed to my own company, but it's different when the choice is taken away from you, when you're completely alone. So I settled in with myself. I took a lot of long walks and podcasts. I watched a lot of movies by myself, including Brooklyn, which is an Oscar-nominated film about a girl who leaves home and immediately regrets it. One thing I think people don't talk enough about when you leave homes is how much you miss having a face-to-face conversation with somebody who really knows you. You miss it. A couple of things I did try and step out a bit. I joined a run club, which is ridiculous because I hate running. And I called my sister. I have a twin sister in California, and I called her and I was like, Brittany, this is really tough. And I was walking and talking, and she says to me, you know, why don't you try going to a rock climbing gym? And I said, you know, the few times I have been rock climbing, I remember you have to have like a buddy with you, and you've got ropes and they're holding onto the rope and you're on the other end of the rope. But obviously I don't know anybody. And she says, well, you can try bouldering, which is there are no ropes, you're just by yourself, and this is something you can do alone. So it's okay. You might, you know, there's a community there. So I said, you know, I'm not doing anything else today. So I found myself, you know, I walked up the stairs in Porter Square for the very first time, and I found myself in Somerville at a climbing gym. And when I walked in, you know, there was full of people. It was big groups and small groups and friends and partners and music and things. And I had dropped myself into a place that had been going on long before I had ever been there. And it was immediately overwhelming. But an employee did greet me very warmly, and they welcomed me, and they gave me my very first pair of rental shoes, and they showed me around, and they showed me how to start climbing on the bouldering wall. Just to begin, they showed me how to fall if I need to fall off the wall. They asked me how I was doing, and then the person who was obligated to be my friend left. And I had my rental shoes, and I remember sitting down on this bench right in the center of Brooklyn Boulders, and I was surrounded by all this stuff, and I just felt so tiny, and I could feel like my throat just closing up, and everything was just tight. And I remember everything just felt so insurmountable, all of it. Bouldering, being so far away from people who really knew me. And then, you know, the most mind-boggling question was, how are you supposed to create a community for people when you can't even do it for yourself right now? And it wasn't about regret, because I didn't want to go back, but in that moment, I did not know how to move forward. So when I did pick my head up after a while holding these shoes, and one person was kind of in my direct line of sight who really stuck out. It's because they were by themselves too. And he was a guy, and he had curly brown hair, and he was around my age, which is a great age. And I thought, he's climbing by himself. I can climb by myself. So, I spent about 45 minutes just kind of starting to try it out. And we were always climbing near each other. And then after, a little while longer, we had the best interaction that I think human strangers can have with each other is we made eye contact. And if you have not been hugged in like 6 weeks, that feels like amazing. So it was nice and it was thrilling. And I remember just feeling so calm in that moment. And we made eye contact again, and I stuck my hand out and I said, "Hey, I'm Courtney." And he said, "Hey, I'm Ted." And we started talking and climbing, and I learned that he also is from California. And he also just moved here. And he also was there that day because he didn't know where else to be. And we kept talking and climbing, and there was this nice ease that comes with getting to know something when you've allowed it in. So, the hours flew by, and we're wrapping up. We're about to part ways. We're going to put our shoes back. And he says, "I'll probably see you around." And I said, "Yeah, if I see you, I'll make sure I say hi." And I do say hi. And I keep saying hi. And through Ted, I meet a bunch more people, and we start climbing together and every Sunday. And then that was 4 years ago. And over the past 4 years, almost every Sunday, and if not many more days in between, I've been to that gym. And my climbing is nothing spectacular, nor do I put pressure on it to be. Some might even call it mediocre. But every time I step into the climbing gym, or any place where I know absolutely no one, or even if my chest gets tight or things feel absolutely insurmountable, I think about the small, little, single choice to just stick out my hand and introduce myself to it, and know how to move forward. Thank you. That is my story of my sad attempt to try to make friends when I moved to Boston.
Never sad. It was delightful. Thank you so much again, Courtney.
Thanks for having me, everybody. It's so good
Courtney.
to see you. It's good to see you, Ben.
Nice to see you as well.
Thanks
to see you as well.
Yes, and make sure to follow Courtney on all the socials. Check out Comedy Sports Boston. Support the Rossi Square Theater when it is able to reopen. And if you ever get wind of a little show called Riot X, you might see a familiar face there. It's mine. But yes, Courtney Pong, everybody.
You know what I love so much about that too is that Courtney, she felt like she didn't have this community and couldn't find anybody, and now she has built such an amazing community and such a pillar in that comedy community, and does for so many people. I think what she was looking for, right, was giving them a space and giving them an entryway into a community. Absolutely. And just for her to do that is really amazing. So I love that story.
Yes. Huge. And honestly, climbing is hard. Don't call it mediocre. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh. Let's keep the comedy rolling though. Yeah. Oh,
she's amazing. This comedian. Yeah.
It's real good. I'm just so excited about every performer who's on tonight because they're all fantastic. Mm-hmm. So me and this next person go way back. Oh my gosh. And I'm so excited to see her here. She does perform occasionally with Bodega. And if you haven't heard of Bodega Improv, also punch yourself in the face. Again, this is our running thing.
Do it right now.
If you haven't heard of him, what are you doing with your life? Where are your priorities? But yes, welcome to the stage, the virtual stage, Leah Gose.
Leah.
Hi, guys. So I feel as if what I'm about to share is in part totally due to my expertise as a trained sociologist. And I wish that were the case, but it's really just the fact that I know white people. I'm versed in white people. I know them intimately. My mother is white and from South Dakota, the part of South Dakota where people are so white, they run into stuff and they go whoop. And eat casseroles and, have really long O's. But I also know the white people of Boston who are
doing that thing, you know, where they pretend like they're not really racist, but they cross the street or clutch their purse. And I'm from the South. I'm actually from Georgia. So I'm really just used to like outward, normal, like just racist to your face. It's my preferred type of racist white people. But the whole point is I have this big understanding of white people, which leads me to my point of when white people talk about Black people. And this idea of that acceptance of Black people comes from white people doing this thing, what I like to call the Black butt. So it's like, oh, Jerome, he's Black, but he wears Argyle. Oh yeah, Alicia, she's Black, but she speaks Spanish and French. There's always this qualifier, right? And I think this stems from the idea that when we want to think about bringing Black people into the circle and making them acceptable, making them accepted, making them seem successful, we have to, at least in the eyes of what I perceive in the white world, is make them palatable. And so the idea is that with these ideas, we strip them of their Blackness by giving them qualities we normally attribute to just white people. So they're Black butt. And I actually understood this as a child. I don't know how. I was very like subconscious. I used to swim. I was actually like ranked in the state. And I would love pretending like I didn't know how to swim when I got to swim meets, because I was like, it'll make my competition think that they could win because they're going to assume I, as this Black girl, don't know how to swim. Without me realizing, I was like seated first in like the heat and was in the middle lane and was like already, they had my times. But I would like pretend to be nervous. I would like stand there and like look sad and scared. I don't think anyone paid attention to this. But the main point is I was already aware of this Black butt statement. And I was already just feeling it from everyone. So I would pretend, let them live this idea of what they would expect from me, and then be the Black, but she can swim really well. This is actually transcended into adulthood now with my phone voice. And if you know a Black person who's actually your friend, then you should know, at least have heard their phone voice, in my opinion, solely because you've just been in the context of being able to experience it. And my favorite thing is when I know I'm going to meet that person on the phone in person later, I love to give them my, oh my gosh, yeah, my name is Leah, and like, this is so fun. And when I meet them and this is what they get, which is a nearly 6 foot tall Black woman, they're very confused. And I don't want to imply that like, that's what brings me joy, but like, I don't Marie Kondo. I have a phone voice and then enjoy watching people's face when they meet me. And I bring this all up because this idea of the Black butt statement, it's important to think about how much we force Black people to fit into whiteness, when it seems that so many white people nowadays who are in this social justice movement and really trying to be engaged in it are doing the same things to themselves. They're saying, I'm white, but I'm not racist. I'm white, but I'm not a Karen. And it's interesting to me that so much of the work and these ideas we have around race come from trying to push against these stereotypes and the mentality we have that whiteness seems to run our world. And it's not just that it seems to, it's literally that it does. That's like, we live in a racist society and structural and systemic, all of it. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to share this point that if you're one of those people who's using the white butt, you're already giving power to the system of whiteness. So perhaps not only like would you use that with Black people in reference to kind of taking away their existence as Black people and putting them in a palatable sense, but that's your way of denying connection to the way that white people as a group in America actually are seeming to really hold on to these racist, structural, systemic issues by saying, I'm white, but I'm not like the other ones. Because the second you say that, it's kind of proving the point. So that is what happens when you observe whiteness for all of your years. And I hope in 10 years to have new observations for you guys. So thanks for letting me share what I see in the world.
Leah goes, everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. when you first said the words "a black butt," I looked behind me and I was like, "Wait, where is this going?"
I should have said black, comma, butt.
I still feel
it was a grammatical error, and I really apologize.
Grammar is a white supremacist contact. Don't worry about it.
It's true.
It's fine. It's fine. You're fine. We're fine.
I even have to check myself whenever I see someone like, if I'm like on a dating app and I see someone use the wrong there, I'm like, Leah, that's racist. Don't. But I'm like, I'm not. It's like not attractive to me, and I'm like, no, I'm buying into the.
It's really hard. Listen, when I was first learning English, let me tell you, I made sure my grammar was on point. So anytime I see when somebody misuses the word every day and doesn't put a space in it in between when they mean each day, but I suppress the rage. So I feel you on that.
I mean, I don't know like what I'm saying because I can't spell necessary. And I also can't spell the name George without telling myself that it's G-E or G-E.
Oh.
So that's my trick to share with everyone.
See, we're here to learn tonight on Laughing for Liberation, okay? And again, if you don't get educated tonight, punch yourself in the face. That's our running theme for the evening. I don't know.
I tell that to my students too. I'm like, you didn't get anything from my class, just like slap yourself and leave.
Thank you. This is how we educate the youth. Leah, do you have any projects coming up to plug?
No, just my dissertation. So that's not fun for anyone.
I mean, well, look that up once it's published, all of you.
Sure.
Follow Leah on all the socials because her social media is a good time. And Leah, are you ready for December 21st?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Well, I'll show up. It's normally how I roll, you know?
I know. But you and I might get a total of 1 power. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Leah, are you still trapped in the dorm? Last time I talked to you, you were like, I'm in the dorm and I can't leave.
Yeah, I am. I'm still in my dorm, but it's cool. It's fine. It's just life.
It's life in the dorm.
But you joined us. You're here, and we appreciate you.
Seriously, yeah. Thanks so much, for having me and doing this and fundraising.
Thank you. Thanks again, Leah. One more time for her. Give it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to give some special shout outs. Shout out to Sophie and Adi and Rachel Jane Animan for running everything behind the scenes and keeping everything going. They're doing an amazing job. I think I got some updates on the numbers. And if I'm not mistaken, we're at 3,900.
We're so close to 4,000.
So close. We're so close to 4,000. You know, if you donate, if it's $1, $5, $10, whatever you've got, if you plan to donate in the future, because the link will still be active once this show wraps, we thank you in advance. Every penny counts. All that you're doing is amazing. And as we mentioned with our interview with Abraham earlier, it's the work behind the scenes and it's the work that doesn't make the headlines that honestly has the greatest impact and means the most. It matters the most. So keep doing what you're doing. We couldn't do this show without you. We appreciate you. Our performers appreciate you. Show them some love. Follow them on social media. Send them a little thing, a little something on Venmo, and make sure to click that link to donate. It's just dropped in the chat, but you're all amazing. We got to keep the show going.
Let's keep the show going. Let's do some. Yeah. I want to see some improv.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We've got 2 amazing performers who are gonna come on screen and do some amazing improv together. They are 2 improv titans. One of them is a titan of our scene here in Boston.
Yes.
Shiyan has been a main stage performer at Improv Boston, regularly on Bodega, all over the place. Michelle is just. You know what? It's amazing when you watch somebody who is a good person, right? And they finally get the recognition and then take off, and sort of all the amazing things happen that you're like,
yes,
waiting for that to happen.
Yes.
That's what's been going on with Michelle, right? And starting MKE, is that it?
MKE out in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
MKE is thriving. Michelle's Edges are thriving. Everybody's doing well. We've got castor oil on deck. I'm sorry, Ben, this is not for you.
No,
but I'm so excited for you. You all are going to be just blessed with some magic. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah. Let's
Hi, friends.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
I didn't know what to do with that intro. I was like, my gosh, there's castor oil, there's edges, there's so much happening.
Oh my gosh. That was awesome. It's so true. Thriving.
Everybody's edges are thriving. All right.
Honestly, can I tell you that I recently got I've never had so many hair oils in my life. Like I've had creams, but now I have a hair oil, I have a face oil, I have a separate hair oil, I have a body oil. Like
oils
just
is where it's
oils
at.
for days.
Oils.
You have to stay as moisturized as possible. And I know, unfortunately, my camera setup,
Yeah.
I'm not like glistening and like getting a full glow like Michelle is getting, but believe me, world, moisturized. She's moisturized.
I feel so backwards. I'm sorry. I know we need to get started, but like I usually, I guess, have the other mirrored view, and so I feel very backwards
You're
right
like
now.
swapped. I also have no idea how long I mean, I know how much time we have, but like I have no concept of time right now. So like I feel like we're just gonna go. I'm gonna say to those in the chat, if you could drop a number between 1 and 5 in the chat, we'll use it in some way. Also, I was talking to Michelle earlier because I had a lovely Secret Santa situation with some friends. And one of the gifts that I received was proper black licorice. And if you don't know about proper black licorice, it's not your Twizzlers. You know, it's not the fake stuff. This is proper, a little bit bitter. Some people say it's disgusting and gross. I say it's lovely.
Gross. It still sounds gross.
Michelle doesn't like it, more for me. So if you have something that you love but other people don't super like, go ahead and drop that into the chat and we'll find a way to use it. And that'll be good. So we can keep vamping until that happens.
Yes, we need those suggestions.
Yes, I have some numbers. Ooh, we got a 1.15. You know what I'm gonna do with that? I'm gonna say British and then like a little more British.
Okay.
Can we do
Yeah,
that?
let's do it.
That's what we're gonna do for accents. I got Moxie soda. I think that's a type of drink that's not quite root beer.
All right, let's
do
it.
That's my understanding, love. Like, you won't believe it. I said, can I have a root beer? And she said, I'm sorry, we don't have that, but you can have a Moxie. And I was like, a Moxie? What am I going to do with that? Like, start up my car? Like, I don't drink rubbish.
The fact that like they were like giving you something else, like something that you did, that within itself has moxie. You know what I mean? Like, it's so bold. It's so incredibly freaking bloody bold for them to be like, oh, I want a root beer, I want a Coke, but you're going to give me something else that I don't even want.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Like, how does it, it's not even a one-to-one comparison. No. It's like, okay, I want water, but now I'm going to give you like dirty water from like a pond.
Right, I'm gonna go.
How is that similar?
I'm gonna go back to the sewer. Right, I'm gonna grab a bucket. I'm gonna grab a bucket. I'm gonna string it down because I'm gonna stop and get some string first. Right,
exactly.
And then I'm gonna get that bucket and I'm gonna fill it up, and then I'm gonna come back inside and I'm gonna put it.
You know what? I'm gonna string one bucket really high, right, and the other will be lower. So there's like surface tension of the water going down on the bucket. So you're not even gonna drink like from the bucket. You're gonna drink like drips from the string. Like, why would I want that?
Exactly.
How is that quenching my thirst?
Exactly. And then they'll probably like overcharge you for it as well, right?
Exactly. Right. You know, you ever been to a restaurant, like back in the day when we used to go to restaurants and they'd like give you a drink and you'd be like, oh, thank you. And they pour your drink. And then afterwards you'd be like, is a hair?
Is a hair?
Is a hair?
It's a hair.
Is a hair?
It's a hair in my
drink. In my cup?
Yeah.
Like, what?
How about like when they put the hands on the tip top of the glass, right? You know what I mean? Like it's like so in one factor, right? We're doing well because we have to be at home, right? And like so we don't have like people putting the hands on the tip top of the glasses.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like I miss people.
Yeah. Wait, can I actually go back a little bit?
I really miss people.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go back.
You know that thing when you ask for something and your waitress is like, or your waiter, and they're like, because they know they don't have it.
Yeah.
That like pause where they have to like think of something else. I kind of miss that. Like that moment in between, you know? It's just like, what are they gonna say?
Right. I miss it. I miss so many things about before, you know what I mean? But like I'm still angry about certain things. But I'm also like
I want to be able to go out and be angry again.
The number 3, what does that give you for accents?
That gives me, like when we're down south. You know what I mean?
So, like you really.
I'll help out. Okay. So, I went down to the grocery. Okay. I went down to the grocery the other day and I picked up a bottle of lemon juice. Because, you know, I like to put a little bit of lemon juice in my sweet tea.
Right.
Come with me. We're down in Mississippi. So come with me. Come on. Okay. I know you can get here. I know you can. I know you can get here with me. Okay.
Right. Oh.
You just don't leave me here.
No. Hey, I'm sorry. You know, everybody has a different touchstone for different things. You know, when you say potato, some other people are like, oh, did you say sweet potato? Did you say yams? And I think for me personally, this is where we are for
now
for
remind
that.
me of where you grew up again.
Yeah.
We grew up in the same place.
Oh, absolutely. We did. But you know what happens when you travel as a youth? You know, sometimes you get a little bit of this mixed in with a little bit of that. And formative years, it changed that accent a little bit. But to your original point, yeah, I do miss people as well.
Don't forget your roots is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Lemon juice and the sweet tea. Okay.
It's very good. Can we get an accent from the chat? I see the number 3, so that tells me something that could happen 3 times is this accent. You see what I did there? So if I could just get another one, I'm just gonna consult this right here to see if anyone we got French. So I said, how you say is good when you have you noticed that it's good when you are walking down the street and you see someone that has their mask by their shin, no? And you just look at them, like you look at them like, how dare you? And they see you and they get, how you say, self-conscious and they just pull it up. I love it.
Yes.
When that happens.
How do you say, stupid? It is not, how you say, a chin strap.
Yes. Well, you are not a wrestler. You're not saying.
No. It is so stupid.
Protecting the shin. It's not a shin guard. Yeah.
No.
It's so interesting because at least for me, it feels a bit, how you say, vulgar when the nose is just, when the mask is like.
I do not need to see
and
your
the
nose.
nose is popping out. I do not
need to see your nose.
Yes.
It feels as if you taunt me. You say,
Yes.
Oh, I sneeze on you. Oh, I sneeze on you.
Oh, like a little bit of droplets, but not too much. Just a little droplets, but not too much.
Right? Yes. Like I am protecting you a little bit, but not too much.
Not too much. Just a little bit. It's interesting. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Just like if you wear white past Labor Day, it's a choice.
It's a choice.
Not a good choice.
You can be shamed for it. That's the thing. These Americans, they say, oh, we have freedom of speech. We can do whatever. Do whatever, but you know, I have the right to make fun of you.
Yes.
Exactly. I can laugh at you. If you want to poke your nose out, it's fine. You know what?
Yes. I would
just the way it is.
Partially.
Absolutely. There's something in this seltzer.
Yeah,
Can you see it?
I can see. Yeah, we.
Ruby red. Grapefruit.
Does it make you sad?
Yeah, because like I've never like known the difference between like regular fruits and exotic fruits. I haven't even like tasted them. So
Yeah.
like I go to the store and I'm like, is that a dragon fruit? Like I don't even know because I was raised on like apples.
Look, Sharon, the thing that you have to remember is that you're pretty, right? So, like, you don't have to know the difference between regular fruits and exotic fruits. You just have to be pretty. And guess what? You do it really, really well.
I mean, Melissa, that's like really great to hear and like encouraging. But
Yeah.
like I am smart enough to know that pretty hurts, right? And it only lasts so long. So like, and like, I'm not a skincare regimen chick. Like that's not me. So like, I have maybe 5 more years of this, and then it's like Wrinklestown, USA.
Okay, let me ask you one question.
Okay.
What do you think plastic surgery is for?
Eliminating your bank account and causing you external stress.
Well, you have to also marry rich, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Michelle.
Yeah. I think that's our time.
Our time is done. Like we have nothing else.
I'm not sure. Oh, wait. Maybe we have more.
I don't know. Ben, are you joining our set?
That was amazing.
Oh my gosh. I love you both.
I love you too. Thanks for having us.
Listen, before you go, are you both ready for December 21st?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it?
Yes.
Okay. We'll text. Sorry, Ben.
No, that's fine. And like,
Listen.
can I be completely honest? You've said that a bunch, and I've been like, yeah, that's not. I don't know what that is, but I don't know if I'm supposed to know what that is. But now I'm interested. What's going on? Is there like, should I stay home that day?
You should. You absolutely should, because not only is it the solstice, but Black people superpowers activate. Let's bring on our next act, our next performer. Oh my gosh, so excited.
Oh,
Sarah Duncan.
hi.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Take it away. The stage is yours.
Why, thank you. Hey, Boston. What's up? Thanks for staying in. This mic isn't on, by the way. It's my emotional support microphone. If I don't do my set with a microphone, it's just therapy. So I'm Sarah, one of tonight's token whites, and I grew up in a town called Normal, Illinois. That's not one of my jokes. That's just a fun fact about my life. Another fun fact about my life is that both of my parents are Protestant Christian pastors. I love my parents very much, but growing up the child of 2 pastors was a unique experience. It means I basically just grew up with an excessive amount of Jesus. Just like Jesus music, Jesus movies, Jesus camp, which is also a movie. I even had a 2-foot tall stuffed Jesus doll that I cuddled with at night. That's right, we can say it. I slept with Jesus. And I was the big spoon. That's how much of a pastor's daughter I was. It also meant that I just went to church a lot. So my parents were divorced, so I would bounce between their 2 churches. And this was actually really great for me because I had access to double the amount of churches where I could steal toys. Or really, steal anything at all. At one church, I once stole a whole jar of buttons. Just to have, just in case.
of a button emergency. 911. It's happened. The buttons. I know just the person. You are gonna have to pick her up though. She's 10. Anyway, another time I stole this teddy bear from a Sunday school room while my dad was in his office at church. And so later we're like headed home and he finally notices that I'm carrying this teddy bear. And so he's like, where'd you get that bear, honey? And so I'm like, someone gave it to me. So he's like, who? So I go, Jesus. I had to return the bear. The Lord he giveth and the Lord he taketh away. So I don't know about any of you, but I love dating straight women who are questioning their sexuality. It makes me feel powerful. You know how in movies there's the trope of the like manic pixie dream girl who comes into a guy's life and inspires him to finally brush his teeth? Well, I'm the manic pixie gay girl who inspires questioning women to feel brave enough at long last to play their own harmonica. And then mine, like a duet. But, dating is fun, right? Or filling out your OkCupid profile over and over is fun. My favorite part is that OkCupid now gives you writing prompts. So there's one prompt that goes, when I die, I will. And so I finished this prompt by writing, be bummed. Some nerd messaged me and was like, when you're dead, you won't know you're dead. Okay, first of all, do not underestimate me. And second, how do you know I won't just be like a super bummed out ghost? Just walking around, haunting people, like, oh, fuck 2020, man. All right, so I'll leave you with this. The wildest dating experience I ever had was when I went on a date with someone with my exact same name. Not just Sarah, their name was Sarah Duncan. And honestly, it was amazing. We had so much in common because it was me talking to my mirror. It's a pandemic. Stay inside. Thanks. That's all I have.
Sarah Duncan, everybody. Make sure to check out her website, which is down below. SarahMDuncan.com. Yes, and follow her on all the socials, the Instagram. I follow her Instagram.
Lazy Femme Brûlée is another great handle. I mean, that's spaghetti tits level. That is.
Thank you. That's really high praise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again, Sarah.
Also, if Sarah wasn't watching earlier in the show, that came out of left field. Spaghetti tits people are like, what?
We have mad love for spaghetti tits on this show. Also, update on the numbers. Just got an update from a D. We are at $4,129. Thanks to all of you. Thank you to On Point Improv for matching that first $1,000. That's huge. Thank you to everyone who's given so far. Thank you to everyone who plans to give in the future. I mean, amazing.
I'm saying if we could get to 4,200, it would be pretty cool.
Well, pretty cool. That link to donate should be in the chat. It should also be wherever 2MB is where you follow.
Yeah, we have it on all of our socials. It's going to be on our Twitter. It's going to be on our Insta. You go to that link and continue to donate. We've been so overwhelmed so far, and we know we're going to keep it going.
Yes, your generosity throughout these couple hours has meant everything, and you are helping fund a really important organization that's doing the work. So thank you. Thank you to those of you who've donated, to those of you who've stuck around watching. This is oh my gosh. All thanks to you.
This next performer.
Yes. Ooh, we're gonna finish strong.
We are. He is amazing. He's performed all over the country. And he is a big he's a big fan of yours and mine, and we're big fans of his. There's just a bunch of love fest going on here. In before times, he ran a show. What was the name of that show, Tooky? Do you know?
There was Hideout and Cityside Comedy. So make sure to check those out. If you haven't already been to one of those shows, punch yourself in the face. That's what
Punch
we've
yourself in the face.
tried
That's step
to do
one.
tonight.
Step
But
one.
definitely when everything is safe to reopen, go check out one of his stand-up shows because he puts on a damn good show.
It's one of the best shows in the city. It's so good.
Yeah. Welcome,
everybody give it up.
everyone.
Yeah. Sam Ike.
Hey. Oh, this is so much fun. I love doing these Zoom shows because I can just I can come in whenever I want. Like, look at here I am. All right. See, I could do this. This is all. I love this. I love this whole. I also kind of look like one of those screensavers where it's like boop, 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 boop. I'm just gonna do this the whole time. This is gonna be my whole set. Boop, boop, boop. I'm loving this. I'm loving this whole. I've always whenever I did live shows, I was always wondering what does everybody's living room look like? And then I can do Zoom shows and I can see everybody's houses and it's fantastic. It's great seeing what everyone looks like. I just wanted to share this. I found this I was spending a lot of quarantine at my mom's house, and I found this at my mom's house. So these are Wizard of Oz dolls. She has the whole crop. She has all of them, and I've been constantly just getting really high and just looking at all of them. I just sit here and just stare at them for days sometimes. I'm just gonna hold these up for my whole set, and then you guys just let me know if you see any of them move on their own, because that's kind of what I've been wondering is happening. Is I feel like sometimes they just move. Nobody saw anything? Okay, I was just wondering. All right. I want to show you guys. Something. I saw a movie called The Human Stain, and it's a 2004 movie from Anthony Hopkins. And I'm just going to play you a clip of what happens in the movie. All right, so this is 2004 Anthony Hopkins, The Human Stain.
Just to give a back. And that is how the great imaginative literature of Europe begins, and that is why 3,000 years later, we are going to begin there today. Mrs. Cummings, Tracy Cummings, can you tell us? Stella here. Okay, Mr. Thomas, William Thomas. See here. We are 5 weeks into the semester, and I haven't even laid eyes on these folks. Can anyone tell me, do these people exist? Or are they spooks?
Were you aware, Professor Silk, that Tracy Cummings and William Thomas were African Americans?
Whoa. Was that crazy? Yeah. Anthony Hopkins says spooks, and he gets in trouble. And then he has sex with Nicole Kidman, very soon after. And the big twist that you find out at the end of Human Stain, does anybody know? You can say in the comments if anybody knows. The big twist in Human Stain is you find out Anthony Hopkins is black. He was black the whole time. Yeah, they cast Anthony Hopkins as a black guy. Because so he plays a black guy who has been saying that he isn't. And it's amazing that they cast Anthony. I know Anthony Hopkins is black in this movie is so wild. I just can't believe they couldn't get Bob Saget. He wasn't available. They found Sirian McKellen was not available. Brendan Gleeson was not available. They couldn't find. I guess he was the old. They were like, we need to find a guy, and the only person they could think of was Hannibal Lecter. And so I'm just as surprised as you are, and that's why I've watched the movie 30 times since quarantine. Because every time I watch it, I'm thinking, oh yeah, this isn't like, this is Anthony. I start watching, I'm like, they're not going to say Anthony Hopkins is black. Like, that's not. I must have seen something else. Like, that didn't happen. And then every time I watch it, it's still the same thing. He's still black in the movie. It's the wildest thing I've ever seen. It's the movie I've watched the most in these past few months, which I think says a lot about these past few months. All right. Think I'm gonna wrap things up soon. The last thing I want to do is does anybody want to take a guess? Oh, I've been buying like tons of shit because I got $1,200, so I was like, oh yeah, daddy's going balling, right? And with my $1,200 check, I bought the second cheapest bulletproof vest. Does anybody want to take a guess what the second cheapest bulletproof vest is on Amazon? I'll pull it out. I'll bring it out first. I'll bring it out for you guys for a second. Oh, also, you guys can look at these dolls. This is it. This is the second cheapest bulletproof vest on Amazon, and it is $33. It's $33 with shipping and handling. One guy said 40. That's close enough. That's close enough. All right. I don't know how much the Wizard of Oz dolls are, but if you guys want to throw out some prices, I'm willing to listen. My Venmo and PayPal are right below. Also, I didn't have this listed on the scroll thing that you're looking at right now. They couldn't put it on, but I'm trying to get a big Zoom following. So if you guys can follow me on Zoom, I'm at Zoom. I'm www.zoom.com/T52HGHYP2XY448910. You can follow me on Zoom, trying to get that Zoom following. My name is Sam Mike, and you're welcome.
Sam Mike, everybody. Sam, real quick before you go.
Yeah.
Are you ready for December 21st?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sam.
Oh, no, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you. No,
Thanks, Sam. Always funny.
Oh my God. I think we did it.
I think we did do it. I think we did do it. I do want to say this. TJ Reynolds is an amazing performer here in Boston. He has a show on our channel called Cross Pollination. He's an artist. He's a poet, a musician, a visual artist beyond compare. And he sent us an amazing video. And because of technical difficulties, we're just not going to be able to air it here. Hopefully, we're going to get that figured out. So if you watch it in the future, if you watch this show, not only will you be able to see TJ's video, but the link will still be working. So it's like you can be watching it for the first time. You can be so inspired that you hit that link. You continue to donate. And we just wanted to give a huge shout out to TJ and say thank you so much for sending that in. And you still are a part of this, and you're a part of it in our hearts. So thank you so much, man. And we're really sorry about that. But I would say, one technical glitch aside, what an amazing show. We are just coming in under 3 hours, and It's been a journey, Tooky.
It has been quite a time. I was slated to perform, but I don't think the audience needs that kind of negativity in their life. We want to end this on a high note, not a problematic note.
How about you just take a minute to talk about whatever you want to talk about? It doesn't have to be performing, but just if you have anything you want to shout out or pitch yourself, you've been an amazing host tonight as well.
Well, first and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's been watching tonight, everyone who's participated in the chat, everyone who's donated. Extra special shout outs to Shiyan is in the chat. Pickle Jar Comedy came through. Shout out to Pickle Jar Comedy. Joey Blue Eyes in the chat. Tara's in the chat. So many familiar names and faces. Burf Wellington. Ella locally. Yes, I never pronounce it right. Oh my God. Kaylee Kane came through. Like so many people came through. Dee and Sophie and Rachel doing all the work in the background, keeping everything running smoothly. Arthur, shout out to Arthur.
Shout out to Arthur for coming in and being our tech guy.
Yes.
Shout out to Matt Fear here half the show. We're all thinking about you, bud. And shout out to all our performers. Shout out to SURJ and CCI for all the amazing work that they're doing here in Boston, and also in other SURJs. We have our Boston chapter, but SURJ is a national organization. And thank you so much to everybody for tonight. What a really fun night.
We absolutely could not have done this without you. So your generosity is so deeply appreciated. Make sure to check out all the performers that you've seen tonight. Follow them on all their social medias, tip them a little something on the Venmo, all of that. And yeah, thank you again. This has been a fantastic evening. I'm sweaty. I need to go change. These lights are hot.
That's how you can always tell it's a good show. If you're sweaty, you need to go change afterwards. So thank you, Tooky. You were amazing. Thank you for being here.
Thank you
for being a hostess with the mostest.
Hey, thank this audience for putting up with me between every performer and my giant head.
Thanks to the audience. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to 2MB Studios.
Love to all of you.
And everybody have a great night.